Mrs. Irene Obum-Neme, a pregnant woman and the wife of Stephen Obum-Neme Nwosu, who was allegedly shot dead on Valentine's Day around Amufi Junction along Benin Agbo Road in Benin City, the Edo state capital, has cried out to well-meaning individuals and civil society organizations to help her prevail on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, and the 4th Brigade of the Nigerian Army to bring the suspected murderer of her husband to justice, stating that she has no knowledge if the soldier who allegedly committed the murder is actually being prosecuted, saying, till date, the family has no information about the identity of the alleged killer or any legal action taken by the military authority to make the killer soldier face full wrath of the law, adding that the corpse of her husband has been in the mortuary since the incident occurred on February 14, 2026, because the family believed if the husband is buried, they may never get justice and the case may be swept under the carpet. The bereaved pregnant woman made the appeal in a 21-minute video made available to us fortnight ago after we had earlier reported that the family of Stephen Obum-Neme Nwosu has accused the armed forces of Nigeria, AFN led by General Olufemi Oluyede, the Nigeria Chief of Defense Staff, of attempted acts to cover up a soldier who allegedly murdered a young man, Stephen Obum-Neme Nwosu, on February 14, 2026, Valentine's Day, along Benin Agbo Road around Amufi Junction in Edo State. This, according to the family member who pleaded for her names not to be mentioned in the press, said her brother was shot dead by the soldier after the deceased refused to hand over his car key to the soldier as demanded, saying, her brother only went out with his friend, she identified as Godwin Coco, to get chicken feed when they encountered the soldier at the failed portion of the road that is currently under construction, saying, the Nigerian army has refused to disclose the names of the soldier who allegedly committed the act of murder or take appropriate lawful actions against the suspected murderer, and in a swift reaction, when our reporter contacted the public relations officer of 4th Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Captain Kennedy Anyanwu, via a phone call on Thursday evening, the military authority said it is not true that the soldier in question has not been identified, saying, the matter has been settled, and when our reporter demanded to know how the alleged murder case was settled with the family, the military authority refused to give details. Also, when our reporter contacted the Edo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Officer, ASP Inoakodum, the police authority said the matter is under investigation and there is no way such matter can be swept under the carpet. According to the bereaved pregnant woman, eyewitnesses said after her husband was shot and was in the pool of his blood, the killer soldier wanted to abandon him, but the people around prevailed on him, and that was when the soldier decided to take the victim to the hospital, and the bereaved family was later told by an officer that her husband was pronounced dead at the hospital, but she and the family believe the officer is lying because, according to her, when the bereaved family visited the hospital, the officer claimed their son was taken too. The doctor at the hospital denied receiving such person as a patient. The woman noted that on Tuesday, February 17, 2026, officials from the 4th Brigade of the Nigerian Army, the Edo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, and the construction company visited the bereaved family house and sympathized with the family and assured the family that due process would be followed to make sure the soldier who allegedly committed the crime is prosecuted. But ever since, the bereaved family had had several meetings with the Edo State Police Command and the military authorities, and yet, no reasonable thing has been said to assure the family that the suspect is actually being prosecuted and the compensation they claim to pay is being processed. Continuing, the young widow said till date she does not know the name of the soldier who killed her husband or the military command he worked with, for her to always remember the man who killed her husband, begging the military authority to at least allow her access to such information. The young widow said she wrote through her lawyer to the Edo State Commissioner of Police to take the matter to court, but ever since, still, the case has not been taken to court and she's no longer trusting the way and manner the police is handling the issue, hence, her coming out publicly to beg and appeal for anyone to help her get justice. All I am seeking for is justice for my husband. The soldier identified, tried and prosecuted, so that it will be on record that my husband was murdered. And when the children grow up, they will know that their father was not involved in any criminal activity. We have a 2-year-old boy and the one we are expecting, she said.
Hi everyone. My name is Mrs. Irene Obuneme. I'm the wife to the victim, Mr. Stephen Obuneme Wosu. I'm here to plead to any relevant agency that can help me to seek justice for the extrajudicial killing of my husband on the 14th of February 2026. My husband had left home at about 8:50 a.m. thereabouts to go get feeds for his birds. He runs a poultry, and I could remember calling him at around 10:48, and he told me vividly that he was already on his way back home, that I would see him soon. I waited for over an hour, and then I tried calling him back. It rang at the first dial, and when I tried again, both lines were switched off. I thought maybe he was caught up in maybe something else, or maybe traffic. And only for me to see his friend some hours later, his friend came home and said I should come with him, that they had an altercation with a soldier, and that he doesn't know if the soldier took him to the barrack or any of the nearest police station. So I got dressed and followed him. We went to the nearest police station. On getting there, after I had spent over an hour for any of the officers or somebody to talk to me or tell me something, because they had asked me to wait for the DPO, that he wasn't on seat, that when he comes he would address the issue. Only for the DPO to come and tell me that they are sorry that the deceased has been taken to the mortuary, that he did not make it. I got confused because I don't understand what could have transpired to the point of me getting such news. At that point, I was in shock. I was in disbelief. All I just wanted, I just told them, okay, just take me to him. I just want to see him. Just maybe let me see him and understand what you're saying. Then they said we should come to the state CID. At the time, I was thinking maybe he's at the state CID. I was just in total disbelief. I didn't take or buy what the DPO was saying, that he did not make it. So when they said we should go to the state CID, I thought, okay, probably that's where he is. Only for us to get to the state CID, after many back and forths, go here, do this, they brought out the soldier and said, this is the soldier that shot your husband. I was still confused. Next thing they said, the commissioner of police in Edo State invited us to his office. Got there, I saw the commissioner seated and the brigade commander seated too, and all I could hear was so sorry, it is not in our ethics, this and that, the soldier would be, the case will be investigated and the soldier will be persecuted. They were saying so many things that wasn't making sense. And I told them, take me to where he is. That's just all. Let me see him. Then they handed me over his phones and said they were going to take me to where he is. But then when we came down, while waiting for them to take me to the mortuary, they said they've taken him to. Next thing they said was it was already late, that the IPO isn't here, and the IPO was the one who took the body to the mortuary, and the IPO needs to give us a tag that would allow the mortuary attendants to allow us in to see him. And the fact that I'm pregnant, I was already, I think, 6 months gone at the time, and the fact that I'm pregnant, I can't come into the mortuary. As they were there saying all of this, time was already running past. I think it was already late. It was already past 7 or to 8, something like that, 8 p.m. I was confused. Nobody was agreeing to take me there. I didn't know my way to the place. I don't even know where. I was just confused. And for the fact that I was in so much denial that there's no way my husband would be dead, I came back home on that 14th. Came back hoping and praying. I hoped so much. I prayed so much that it should just be a dream, a nightmare, or maybe even a prank, or it should just let there be a miracle. I prayed, I hoped for a miracle, that by morning, which was on the 15th of February, that I will be told he came back, that I will be told probably they noticed life still in him and then they rushed him to the hospital. I prayed, hoping. And then on the 15th, that was on a Sunday, around 10 a.m., I went back to the police station. At the time I had informed my parents and some family members. So we went to the police station. The officers there said the IPO went to church. We had to wait for the IPO to come back from church, this and that. While waiting, I got angry, and then I met the officer there and said, call the IPO. This is something we'll just sit and be waiting around for the IPO to come anytime before they will take us to the mortuary. They said they deposited his body. Call. Let them tell us how we'll go about it. If it means the IPO having to speak with the mortuary attendants to let us in or something. That was when the officer then made the call to the IPO. And then they said we could go to the mortuary. Getting to the mortuary, I was not allowed in. My family members got in and they were showed his body. And they came out to tell me that truly my husband was gone. My whole world crumbled. My whole world crumbled. Even at that, I still didn't believe it. I still hoped that it can't be. I still hoped and prayed that there was no way my husband was going to end like that. There was no way my husband's life was going to end like that. I still hoped, I still prayed. I was still in denial. This month of May would make it 3 months. I have been in denial. I have been in total shock. And for the fact that I have not seen him, I haven't come to terms that he's gone. After that day, I asked questions. His friend said they were already close to the house. For the fact the highway that leads to our residence is under construction. So they didn't know the other lane was blocked because they didn't block it at the entrance. So they came in to the other lane. Getting close to the entrance to our residence, they saw the caution line. His friend was the one driving. My husband didn't go out with his car. He went out with his friend, and his friend was the one driving. So when they saw the caution line, he tried to reverse the car to make a turn and use the other lane that they had left for motorists who were coming and going to use. While making that U-turn, the soldier accosted them and demanded for the car key. His friend said, he told the soldier, sorry, we didn't see it on time. Besides, I was already turning to go join the other motorist. And then he ignored the soldier and completed the turning, only for him to sight the soldier from his side mirror on a bike, chasing their car, shooting at the car that they drove, and they panicked. He said he and my husband panicked. For the soldier to be shooting at the car, they panicked. And then ended up parking the car at a fuel station that wasn't operating. As the parked, he came down. He said, my husband's friend said, my husband came down first, was running. He came down, and then my husband stopped running. And for the fact that I've known my husband for a long time, I've known him to be someone that wouldn't run in that situation. For the fact that he knows he has done no wrong, he wouldn't. I'm sure that was why he stopped. I'm sure that was why he stopped when he realized I hadn't done any crime. I hadn't done anything wrong. Then why run? And when I think about it, I wish he kept running. I wish he did stop. I wish he knew the soldier was going to shoot, to kill. I wish he had continued running. But then he stopped, and his friend ran past him and escaped. And the eyewitnesses at the scene said when the soldier came to him, he was telling him that he wasn't the one driving. He had told his friend to pull over, let them know the issue, why the soldier will be shooting at the car. But they panicked. that they have done no wrong. So why shoot at them like that? And then the soldier shot him. So after he had shot at my husband, he made to leave him there in the pool of his own blood. But then eyewitnesses accosted him and said he can't leave him there. That was when he took him and said, the officer said, the soldier said he took him to a hospital and the doctor confirmed him dead. That was when they now took him to the police station and from there to the mortuary. But when we went to the hospital to ask, the doctor said he cannot remember any victim or any patient that was brought in, a wounded a gunshot to dead patient that was brought in, that he can't remember having such case in his hospital on the 14th of February. And since then, the events on the 17th, on a Tuesday, the Commissioner of Police, the Brigade General, the 4th Brigade General in Edo State, and representatives from the Bini Asaba Concession Construction Company, they paid a condolence visit. They visited the house, said, sympathized with the family, and assured us that due process will be taken to see that the soldier is persecuted. And they assured that he was still in the police custody. So we believed them, and ever since then it's been one meeting or the other, because they also agreed to compensate the family for the loss, even though I know that there is no amount of compensation that would ever replace my husband, that would ever make up for his death. And so we've been going for meetings at the commissioner's office. We've had about 3 meetings at the commissioner's office, and till date nothing reasonable has been said. No moves has been made to assure us that they are keeping to their words of making sure the soldier pays for his crime. Up to date, I don't know the name of the soldier. I don't know the command he was sent from. Nothing. And these are things I asked for closure. At least let me know his name, of the name of the man who killed my husband. But they've denied me that right. Okay. I said, I've sent a letter to the Commissioner of Police. Take this matter to court. It's been over a month. The lawyer sent out that letter. Take this matter to court. Until date, nothing has been done. That is why I've come out to plead, to beg that anyone that can help me should please help me. All I'm seeking for is justice. All I'm seeking for is justice for my husband. That is all I'm seeking for. Justice for my husband. The soldier identified. The soldier tried. And let it be on record that my husband was killed, that my husband was murdered. So that when our children grow, we have a 2-year-old son and another that I'm expecting. I want them to grow and let it be on record that their father was not involved in any criminal activities. I want them to grow and have it on record that their father was killed, was murdered by a soldier. I want them to grow and let it be proof to back up the story that I tell them. I want them to grow and know that yes, well, the soldier who shot their father was punished. Papa, stop. That is why I'm begging anybody, anyone that can help, to see that we seek justice and we get justice. Should please come to my aid. Thank you.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Barely a day after President Donald Trump of the United States of America, the USA announced the killing of Abu Bilal al-Minuki, the second in command of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, ISIS in a joint operation with Nigeria soldiers in Borno State. A new video of the abducted 416 women and children in Boko Haram captivity has been released in addition to a gory video earlier released by the terrorists wherein they beheaded almost 6 men who the insurgents said tried to escape among the kidnapped victims. This had led to public outcry and demonstrations, but according to Punch newspaper, protesters are reportedly denied the rights to protest in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, saying, the army reportedly deployed tanks and heavily armed personnel to Filling Polo, the venue of the recent planned protest, forcing the demonstrators to withdraw, quoting Sumela Kaigama, leader of the protesters, as saying, the atmosphere created by the military deployment made it impossible for citizens to continue with the demonstration, that the development is deeply disturbing in a constitutional democracy. It may be recalled that we had reported that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria may have kept mute since more than 48 hours. A faction of the Boko Haram terrorists showed off 416 people, mostly women and children, kidnapped and held hostage when the members of the Jama'atu Ali Sunnah Liderawati wal Jihad, JAZ, launched a large-scale combat actions between 4th to the 6th of March 2026 against the men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, overran the Africa country military base at Ngosh, killing several soldiers, a figure the Nigeria Authority disputed to be 14 after several reports indicated that more than 40 soldiers were killed during the attack, in addition to more than 100 civilians including Chief Imam of Ngosh alongside the community elders killed during the coordinated attacks that lasted days at Ngosh community in Gwoza local government area of Borno State. During the attacks, numbers of people were also taken hostage by the insurgents, with speculations indicating that the hostages are apparently being held at the rugged terrain of the Mandara Mountains, which sit wide across the Nigeria border with Cameroon. In the released video, one of the spokespersons of the Boko Haram group said they decided to release a proof-of-life video of the 416 women and children in their captivity, following the demands made across to them by the Borno South Youths Alliance, Bosya, and according to the statement issued by the Bosya when they made the video public on Friday, April 10, 2026. The youths group called on federal government and governments at all levels to ensure the hostages are released, saying specifically that, "We have witnessed cases in states such as Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, and Kebbi where abducted victims regained freedom following interventions by individuals such as Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. We therefore expect equal urgency and commitment in addressing the plight of the Ngosh victims. No region or group of citizens should be treated with less priority." In one of the recent videos sent by the Boko Haram terrorists to the Borno Youths Group, the group said, "Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, yesterday, now some days ago, at about 5:18 p.m., received a disturbing video showing the execution of about 4 to 5 men, both old and young, who reportedly attempted to escape from Jazz, Boko Haram captivity. We at Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, have tried every possible intervention and humanitarian process available, yet the 416 women, children, and a few men in captivity have largely been abandoned to their fate. This video is not intended to promote terrorism or any act related to it, but rather to expose the painful reality on the ground, a reality we have spent over 2 months trying to prevent through continuous mediation and humanitarian pleas. Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, is calling on well-meaning southern Borno indigenes, political office holders, political aspirants, every patriotic Nigerian from the north, south, east, and west, as well as international organizations, to urgently come to the rescue of these 416 women and children by supporting efforts toward the release of the first 50 women and children as earlier announced. 4 to 5 people are already dead. More victims are sick, and some men who attempted to escape have now been killed. Lives are involved, and unimaginable suffering is taking place in captivity among these helpless people who feel abandoned and forgotten. Boko Haram released new video of 416 Ngosh abducted women and children crying for help after being abandoned by state and federal government including Borno South Senator. Let the world see and remember that the Nigerian government, Borno State Government, the Senator representing Southern Borno, the House of Representatives member, House of Assembly members, and Chairman representing Gwoza local government have abandoned these helpless women and children to their fate and have refused to secure their freedom by all possible means. Let the world, human rights organizations, and international bodies such as the United Nations, Amnesty International, and others see and remember how the lives of 416 women and children are being disregarded and devalued. Let the world know that under this government, 416 women and children were kidnapped, and under both the federal and state governments, no meaningful action has been taken. Let the world hear directly from the mouths of these captives that their federal government has failed them, their state government has abandoned them, and their senator representing Southern Borno has ignored and even complicated the process of their release. Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, organized a peaceful protest in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, but the government responded by deploying heavy military presence and formations as though we were terrorists, while the real terrorists move freely, kidnapping and killing our people daily with little or no resistance. If the world is truly watching, then let them know that we are facing oppression from both sides. Political slavery has silenced us for too long, but we will remain silent no more because they have shown us that we are only useful to them every 4 years during elections. Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, remains committed to humanitarian mediation and discussions toward the release of our Ngosh 416 women and children. Though we are exhausted and deeply disappointed by the lack of concern shown toward our people and our peaceful existence, we still call upon the government, every well-meaning Nigerian, international organizations, and even individuals willing to help secure the release of these helpless women and children. Already, some newborn babies and children have reportedly died from sickness and infections in captivity. More innocent lives may be lost if urgent action is not taken. 50 women and children can be released today if 50 million naira is raised and offered to their captors. Nigerians, international organizations, and compassionate individuals around the world are urged to help save these innocent lives since the government has shown its true attitude toward these suffering people. Regardless of religion, let us consider humanity first. Some say they are Muslims, so Muslims alone should help them out. Both Muslims and Christians are at the receiving end of this menace. Let's be humans before anything. With due respect to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the world saw, and Nigerians witnessed, the kidnapping of 416 women and children in Ngosh, Gwoza local government area of Borno State. Yet, the presidency neither issued an official statement nor publicly addressed the situation. This has left many people in southern Borno asking painful questions. Are we not Nigerians? Is the president only for a specific part of Nigeria? We asked these questions because we observed that the presidency released a statement concerning the kidnapped teachers in Oyo State and assured the public that efforts were being made toward their rescue. That action demonstrated concern, empathy, and leadership toward the people affected in Oyo State. On the other hand, the people of Borno State, particularly southern Borno, have felt abandoned and ignored in the face of one of the most painful tragedies affecting our communities. Up until this moment, there has been little or no direct public reassurance from the presidency regarding the safety and plight of the victims, despite security and protection of citizens being among the highest responsibilities of government. Borno South Youth Alliance, BOSYA, therefore wishes to express its deep dissatisfaction and disappointment regarding what many people perceive as unequal concern toward the suffering of southern Borno communities. On behalf of many concerned youths and indigenes of southern Borno, we respectfully urge the presidency to show that every Nigerian life matters equally, regardless of region, ethnicity, or religion. We believe that the people of southern Borno deserve the same level of empathy, urgency, and public concern shown to citizens in other parts of the country. At this critical time, our people need reassurance, protection, and visible action from the highest office in the land, Samela Ibrahim Kaigama, President, Borno South Youth Alliance, BOSYA, stated in numbers of press statements issued in recent days. Before the release of the new video of the abducted victims, the United States President Donald Trump had on Friday, May 15, 2026, based on America time, announced that Abu Bilal al-Minuki, described as the second-in-command of ISIS globally, was killed during a joint military operation carried out by American and Nigerian forces in Borno State. Trump said the operation was conducted under his direct order and involved what he described as a meticulously planned and very complex mission, executed by both the United States military and the armed forces of Nigeria. According to Trump, the targeted operation successfully eliminated al-Minuki, whom he called the most active terrorist in the world. He revealed that the ISIS commander had been hiding in Africa while allegedly coordinating activities linked to global terror operations. Tonight, at my direction, brave American forces and the armed forces of Nigeria flawlessly executed a meticulously planned and very complex mission to eliminate the most active terrorist in the world from the battlefield, Trump stated. The American president further claimed that intelligence sources closely monitored the ISIS leaders' movements before the operation was launched. He thought he could hide in Africa, but little did he know we had sources who kept us informed on what he was doing, Trump added. Trump also praised the Nigerian government for cooperating with the United States during the mission, saying the partnership played a major role in weakening ISIS operations globally. With his removal, ISIS's global operation is greatly diminished. Thank you to the government of Nigeria for your partnership on this operation. God bless America, he wrote. Nigeria Defense Headquarters in a press statement said, the armed forces of Nigeria, in collaboration with United States forces, has successfully conducted a meticulously planned and highly coordinated counterterrorism operation resulting in the elimination of Abu Bilal al-Minuki, a senior ISIS leader and one of the world's most active terrorists. The precision operation was the result of our recently formed US-Nigeria partnership and intelligence sharing efforts. Together, we have disrupted a violent terrorist network that endangered Nigeria and the broader West African region. Our efforts represent a major breakthrough in ongoing efforts to combat terrorism and violent extremism in Nigeria, the Lake Chad Basin, the Sahel region and globally. Abu Bilal al-Minuki was a key ISIS operational and strategic figure who provided guidance to ISIS entities outside Nigeria on matters relating to media operations, economic warfare and the development and manufacturing of weapons, explosives and drones. His death removes a critical node through which ISIS coordinated and directed operations across different regions of the world. Intelligence further indicates that, as recently as February 2026, Minuki may have been elevated to the position of head of the General Directorate of States, placing him the second most senior leader within the ISIS global hierarchy. Prior to this, Minuki served in 2023 as the Nigeria-based Al-Furqan GDP Office Emir, overseeing ISIS-linked operations across the Sahel and West Africa, including attacks against civilians, particularly ethnic and religious minority communities. The terrorist leader also maintained long-standing operational ties with ISIS West Africa and was linked to the 2018 Dapchi kidnapping of over 100 schoolgirls. Intelligence records further show that between March 2015 and early 2016, he facilitated the movement of fighters to Libya in support of ISIS operations in North Africa. Before pledging allegiance to ISIS in 2015, Minuki was also recognized as a prominent leader within Boko Haram. The armed forces of Nigeria reiterate that this successful operation demonstrates Nigeria's unwavering resolve to confront terrorism and deny extremist groups the ability to threaten national, regional and international security. The operation equally underscores the importance of our Nigeria-United States collaboration, intelligence sharing and coordinated military action in defeating transnational terrorist networks. The Defense Headquarters commends the gallantry, professionalism and dedication of all personnel involved in the operation and appreciates the continued partnership and support of United States forces in the collective fight against terrorism. The armed forces of Nigeria remain steadfast in ongoing operations aimed at dismantling terrorist infrastructure, protecting civilians and ensuring lasting peace and stability across the nation and the wider region. Major General Sumaila Uba, the Director, Defense Information stated this on May 16, 2026. In a follow-up updates, the Defense Headquarters also stated that the Defense Headquarters wishes to provide clarification following emerging public discourse regarding the recent neutralization of a high-profile terrorist commander, Abu Bilal al-Minuki, during a joint operation with the United States Africa Command on the 16th of May 2026. Certain media reports referencing a similar operation in 2024 have mentioned the elimination of a terrorist commander bearing the same name. This has understandably generated questions about the identity of the individual recently neutralized. It is important to state that within the Northeast region and across the Lake Chad Basin, the use of similar or identical names, aliases and nom de guerres is common among ISWAP and Boko Haram terrorists. This is essentially part of their indoctrination program, which is aimed at deliberately obscuring identities. This fact has been established over the years in the course of counter-terrorism operations in the northeast of Nigeria. The Abu Bilal al-Minuki eliminated on the 16th of May 2026 has been positively identified through human intelligence and technical surveillance as a senior global operative within the Islamic State network, with direct links to international terrorist coordination, funding and operations across the Sahel. There is therefore no ambiguity in his identity. The strike is a significant milestone in our counter-terrorism efforts. The armed forces of Nigeria, in partnership with the United States, remain committed to dismantling terrorist networks and will continue to provide verified information through official channels. The general public and the media are please urged to rely only on these sources to avoid confusion from coincidental name similarities. On May 19, 2026, the Nigeria military said, the Defense Headquarters wishes to announce major successes in continuing counter-terrorism operations in close coordination with United States Africa Command against ISIS terrorists in northeast Nigeria. It will be recalled that the joint strikes started a few days ago. As of the 19th of May 2026, assessments indicate that 175 ISIS terrorists have been eliminated from the battlefield. The joint strikes have resulted in the destruction of ISIS checkpoints, weapons caches, logistical hubs, military equipment and financial networks used to sustain terrorist operations. The operations have also resulted in the elimination of several senior ISIS leaders, including Abu Bilal al-Minuki, one of the most significant ISIS operatives in the world. Al-Minuki played a central role in ISIS external operations, coordinating terrorist financing, recruitment, logistics and attack planning targeting Nigerians and innocent civilians around the world. His death severely disrupts ISIS command, operational coordination and external attack networks. Other terrorist figures eliminated include Abd al-Wahhab, ISWAP senior leader responsible for coordinating attacks and distributing propaganda, Abu Musa al-Mangawi, ISWAP senior member and Abu al-Mathana al-Mahajja, ISWAP senior media production team manager and close confidant to al-Minuki. The joint strikes have further reinforced what the armed forces of Nigeria, AFN, have consistently done over the years: hunt down and kill terrorists anywhere they are in Nigeria. The joint operations will continue to hunt down and destroy those who threaten our nation and regional stability.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
It may not be wrong to say one of the major root causes of crimes, poverty, poor healthcare, suicides, killings and avoidable deaths today in the world is superstitious beliefs mixed with severe psychological manipulation, religious and spiritual delusions that often lead to family members abandoning their loved ones, especially their parents, for fear of being bewitched, doomed or suffered from the delusional curse or spell superstitiously believed had been placed on their parents or loved ones, and this act do also lead to the accused family members committing suicides or being banished, beaten, or even killed by jungle justice, and in line with the numerous cases documented globally and locally, we have seen where individuals have committed murder or caused death due to acute spiritual delusions, which in psychiatry, these are often diagnosed as cases of religious psychosis, schizophrenia, or clinical lycanthropy, where the perpetrator cannot separate objective reality from spiritual hallucinations. This may interest you to know that in August 2025, at Atwood Lake in Ohio, United States of America, USA, an Amish mother obviously suffering from a severe spiritual delusion, drowned her 4-year-old son in Atwood Lake. Investigators revealed that both she and her husband believed God was speaking directly to them, demanding ritualistic tasks to prove their worthiness, and as such, she explicitly told the police that the Lord wanted her to perform the sacrifice. This may not also be different from the case of a 22-year-old Nigerian and an engineering student named Benjamin Abenem, whose life seems to heavily revolved around his church, who suffered a sudden psychiatric break in 2025 after his family initially mistook his erratic behavior for a standard demonic attack rather than a medical issue, allegedly driven by the delusion that his mother and sister were witches spiritually plotting to destroy him. He, as a result of that, attacked his family, resulting in the death of his mother, but he was later diagnosed with schizophrenia under clinical custody. It may be recalled that one of the most famous historical cases of spiritual psychosis in the United Kingdom, UK, was the murder of Robert Dadd in 1843 by his son. The English artist, Richard Dadd, stabbed his father to death on account of a delusion that his father was actually the devil in human form, and that he had been chosen by God to battle the forces of evil. This act made him to spend the remainder of his life in psychiatric facilities, and in 2008, a passenger inside a Greyhound bus in Canada, Vince Lee, killed a stranger, Tim McLean. Lee claimed that the voice of God told him McLean was an alien or a demon, and that if he did not kill him immediately, the man would come back to life and kill everyone else on the bus, and one of the most recent cases of crimes caused by superstitious beliefs occurred on Friday, the 9th of May 2026 at Umuazili area of Awo Omama community in Oru East local government area of Imo State when Michael Akujiobi killed his uncle and two other elderly people on the ground that they were the evil forces behind his misfortunes and problems in the family. The suspected murderer, who said he returned from Lagos State to his country home in 2018 to wage war against spiritual forces so that his father's name wouldn't go astray, confessed to killing 3 people, identifying the first victim as his father's senior brother and his uncle, Joseph Akujiobi. The other victims were another man and a woman. During his interrogation, the suspected murderer said when he was in primary school, he could read and write very well, but, along the line, he was no longer brilliant, and thus he believed his uncle was the evil forces behind his academic misfortunes and other setbacks in life. Accordingly, the suspect said he came back to kill evil people who do not want the younger ones to grow and succeed in life, adding, he was acting under the instruction of the Spirit of God to eliminate evil people in the community. The suspect, who admitted of previously selling Indian hemp in the community, seems to be unremorseful despite the gravity of his actions, insisting he had won the battle, and he knows the consequences of his action according to the law may be death penalty or condemned to life imprisonment. Michael Akujiobi did not allege any specific personal wrongdoing, financial dispute, or physical abuse committed by his uncle against him. Instead, he framed the attack entirely around generalized spiritual warfare and occult cleansing. His action may not be unconnected with existing cultural superstitions and psychological manipulation regarding spiritual hygiene, occult warfare, and familial curses. This, almost in a similar situation, men of the Nigeria police force in Anambra State in March 2022, arrested Juju, priest among other people, for assaulting, humiliating a woman accused of killing her husband simply because she slept or made love with another man. According to the Nigeria police force, its men arrested a Juju priest, Anthony Abanye, over the beating and nakedness of a woman-round community in the state after she was allegedly accused by the native doctor of causing the death of her husband through infidelity. The then Anambra State Police Commissioner, Ekeng, said the Juju priest, who is not a trained medical doctor, confessed of administering herbs to the deceased before he died. The police commissioner also said Anthony Abanye also confessed he was the one that told the family of the deceased that his wife was responsible for the death, saying the said husband had been sick. Instead of taking him to the hospital, investigation revealed that his brother, Mr. Udalor, took him to Anthony, a native doctor, where Anthony confessed to having taken the deceased on some spiritual cleansing and administered him some herbs before he died. And it was Anthony who allegedly told the family of the deceased that the cause of his death was as a result of the wife's infidelity. In contrast to existing cultural and generational superstitious beliefs wreaking havoc in our society today, Kelvin Chimarobi Emmanuel, aka Kel Armstrong Amobi, founder of Car Truth Podcast, on May 5, 2026, took to his social media accounts and said he set a bet to prove his mother wrong, that his father, who died years ago, was not killed by spiritual forces. Rather, he believed his father was poisoned to death by enemies apparently within family. According to him, we were not just financially poor, we were mentally colonized by superstition, their devias and prophets told them. As I grew, I faced serious setbacks. I felt like I was fighting spiritual forces, but I kept learning, I kept evolving, and then I began to see things clearer. When I began to succeed, the family thanked God and concluded that I was simply the one the Juju could not catch. They said God has chosen to save me. But what kind of a God saves one out of many when he has the power to save all? It was the kind of God that superstitious beliefs created. Verbatim, Chimarobi said, I placed a bet against my mother's belief. I won. This is a private family matter, but my desire to pull someone out of a mental prison is stronger than my desire for privacy. So I will share. I was born into poverty. Not the soft kind, the cruel kind, the multi-dimensional kind with different faces and different names. No one in my entire family's bloodline ever owned a car. No one had meaningful wealth. No one attended university. No one held any position of consequence. No one ran a thriving business or understood how wealth is created. They had all sat on the passenger's seat of survival and driven by their beliefs that wealth was beyond them. We were not just financially poor. We were mentally colonized by superstition. I was born into it. When my father died, I was a very little boy. The family consensus was that enemies had spiritually killed him, but I believed he was simply poisoned. They also believed those same enemies had locked the destinies of his children, ensuring none of us would amount to anything. The Debias and prophets told them. My two older brothers believed it. My mother believed it. Everyone believed it, except one rebel, me, and my rebellion was not even a sophisticated one. I did not have the theology or the philosophy to argue against it. I was just a stubborn little nobody who refused to accept that anything had the power to trap him. That was the whole arguments. Pure, irrational stubbornness. As I grew, I faced serious setbacks. I felt like I was fighting spiritual forces, but I kept learning. I kept evolving, and then I began to see things clearer. When I began to succeed, the family thanked God and concluded that I was simply the one the Juju could not catch. They said God has chosen to save me. But what kind of a God saves one out of many when he has the power to save all? It was the kind of God that superstitious beliefs created. That is when I sat my mother down. I told her plainly that no Juju is fighting this family. What we are fighting is a generational curse born out of ignorance. Ignorance of how wealth is created. There is nothing spiritual about it. The enemy has no name and no face. It does not exist. She laughed, said I was still a child in this area, regardless of how far I had traveled or how much I had seen. I said, fine, let us bet. If I was simply lucky to escape, then luck cannot be replicated. So I will take the last-born son, raise him the way a father would, and pour everything I know into him. If he also succeeds, you will accept that the chain was never Juju. If he does not, I will concede. She agreed. I unofficially adopted my little brother when he was very young. I emptied myself into that boy, equipped him with profitable skills. Today he is a big boy, makes good money for himself, sponsoring himself in university, building his own life. The Juju could not catch me. It could not catch him either. I won the bet. My mother now understands. The chain was never a curse. My forefathers were not cursed men. They were noblemen. They were simply men who believed a story that made them powerless, and they passed that story down like an inheritance. The chain was the belief. I share this because many of you reading this are still inside that same battle, fighting invisible enemies, collecting evidence for a war that only exists in your interpretation of events. And the evidence feels real because you are refusing to analyze your situation critically or do anything differently. In my family, those who still hold on to the superstition are still making the same mistakes and blaming invisible forces. Those of us who stopped believing it blame only ourselves when we fail. That accountability is not punishment. It's a real responsibility. And responsibility is the road to the life you want. If you can defeat the superstition living in your own head, you can defeat anything outside of it.
Okay, now, look up. What is your name?
My name is Michael Akudnobi. I'm from Umezali Haumama, Oris local government.
Okay, what is your handwork?
My handwork in Igbo land, since I come to Igbo land since 2018, I buy palm kernel.
You buy and sell palm kernel?
Yes, no, but when I come back the first time from Lagos, what I'm doing, I sell India hemp.
Oh, you sell India hemp?
Yes, in my village.
Ah, okay. Now, are you married?
When I was selling that India hemp, I am married. I leave my wife in Lagos and insist that I want to go to my father's land to make my father's name not to go astray. My father gave birth to 8 boys. Inside those 8 boys, I am the only one that come back to my father's land. Yes, sir.
Okay. 3 days ago, you killed 3 people.
On Friday.
On Friday?
Yes, evening.
Okay, you killed 3 people. What are the names of those 3 people you killed?
Yes, sir. The number 1 person I killed in the same building with me is my father's senior brother. His name is Joseph Akudnobi.
The second person?
The second person, when after I killed the man, I went outside to go and look for EPA around the vicinity in my building. All the people in the vicinity now started running for me. I now see one of my chairman, Umunadi chairman, his first son. My Umunadi chairman, his first son. He now see me, he want to run. And I tell him, come here, are you mad? Since you know me, have you run before? He said, no. Why did you see me now that you want to run? He said, Dede, I will give you obara. I said, it's true. I have won the battle. Since I have won the battle, I have no more fear to human being again. Come inside here, and I take it inside that place where they are charging a phone. Everybody that is there have run. The person that holds the phone, leave everything and run. And I tell the boy, sit down there. Take a book and biro. Whoever that come here, that have phone here, before you give him he or her phone, write his name and his surname. That I am coming. And now move straight out from that place. Me, I want to go to Amemeri. The Spirit of God now directs me back to Umeme. I now started going down to Umeme. As I was going down to Umeme, I was giving God glory and honor for Him to set me free.
No, you are going far. What happened? How did you kill the second person?
That's what I want to say. That same thing I'm saying. That.
Okay.
As I was going to Umeme, one old woman come and stop me. Babylon, what is happening? I say, you wicked woman, why are you asking me such question? Go away from here. As I push the woman has somersault. As a somersault, I want to leave the woman. The spirit that come back to me. That woman is an evil woman. Kill her. I not kill her.
What did you use to killing her? With a stick or with hand or
with
what?
Hand. I don't use anything to touch that woman. It's only hand I used to kill her.
Your hand?
Yes.
You were giving her blows?
Yes, I was just eating her with blow.
And she died?
That's how she died.
What of the third person?
The third person, Mr. Sirin Obo.
Sirin Obo?
Mr. Sirin Obo.
Is he?
He used to shoot gun in the barrier.
Okay.
What made me to attack him also is the Spirit of God that tell me that that man also is a bad person, that I should get him down. And I chase him, I get him down. I was beating with my hand. He says I'm knocking on a rock. I now see the object with him. I now collect the hammer and knocking his head. That is the way he died.
Okay. So you said that the Spirit of God asked you to
kill the evil ones that don't want none shall go to succeed.
Okay. The Spirit of God was controlling you.
Yes.
Was telling you what to do.
Yes.
And you killed them under the control of the Spirit of God.
Yes.
So the Spirit of God empowers you or directs you to murder people.
Daddy, before this thing started, when I go to market on Friday, are you hearing me, Daddy? When I go to market on Friday, I buy my palm kernel. After me buying my palm kernel, on Wednesday there is a man that called me on phone that told me that he wants me to buy palm kernel for him. And I told him I'm not going to buy palm kernel from you.
Come on, dog. Don't decide.
And I tell you, I will not buy palm kernel for you. That I have a master in Afawa. That my master bought me market last time.
Let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have misunderstanding with these 3 people you killed before?
It's only one person I have misunderstanding with.
Which of them?
The first one I killed in my father's house, the one that senior my father. That's the only witch man I have problem with.
What was your problem with him?
Since in my childhood, when I was in primary school, I can read and write very well as a business student. Unfortunately, along the line going to school, in my parents' school, I could not able to read again. I cannot able to spell again. I was not burdened with my life, struggling with my life since then. That what happened? Me, a brilliant boy in school, I read while I write very well. What now happened? That I am not able to read again. Along the line, I have a problem with my professor in school, in private school in Lagos.
Is your mother still alive?
Yes, sir.
What of your father? Is he?
My father is late. I am the one that make my brothers bury my father in this village. They want to bury my father in Lagos.
So, having killed these 3 people now, what is your, how do you see what you did?
Daddy, what I did is diabolic. It's diabolic. It's not what human beings supposed to do.
Okay, then why did you do that?
But based on the spiritual attack, they attacked me. I fought a lot of war with them in my room. More than 5 hours in my room. Daddy, I will not lie to you.
Do you know the consequences of what you did, the legal consequences, the after effect? Do you know?
Yes, Daddy, I know it's life imprisonment or stoned to death.
Okay.
Daddy, when I have an encounter of spiritual attack, when I come back from my market, after me and the man have again, my wife was there. They had the conversation I have with that man that is calling me on phone. That the man said he's going to buy me pancane, 1,300. Meanwhile, my master in the market, what he buying me market, his last market, he bought me 1,002.
Okay, I will come again. Eh?
So
you have confirmed that you have confessed on your own. You ran away after murdering these people.
Yes, I ran
Later
away.
Came out yourself.
After I run away, those people I killed them, their sons and daughters, they now went to my wife's shop to go and kill my wife and my children. But with God to be the glory, he fight for me. He is the one that bring me back to this village to come and set his people free. As they run to my wife's shop with cutlass, with everything, people around my wife's shop see what is going on. They now rush those people, fight them seriously.
Okay.
Are you getting it? And their way fighting them, they make my wife escape and my children. When they make them escape, I look at what can I do. These people, am I going to be here? They will damage my image. What will I do? I now call one of my friends.
One of your friends?
Yes.
To do what?
Ejima.
You called him to do what?
To help me and call government to intervene, because the government did not intervene in this matter, they will kill me in this place.
Okay. You called Ejima. Did Ejima intervene?
Ejima, I begged him a lot to call Mr. Uchenna Obiozo.
Uchenna Obiozo.
I begged him a lot to help me and beg him to send his squad to come and set me free from here. Mr. Ejima was telling me that he have called him, that he have information that the Ebobagun is in Tigitiri coming, which he have never.
Okay, it's all right. I've heard you. Eh?
Yes, sir.
So thank you for confessing, for telling us the truth.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Family of Stephen Obum Neme Nwosu has accused the armed forces of Nigeria, AFN led by General Olufemi Oluyede, the Nigeria Chief of Defense Staff, of attempted acts to cover up a soldier who allegedly murdered a young man, Stephen Obum Neme Nwosu, on February 14, 2026, Valentine's Day, along Benin Agbo Road around Amufi Junction in Edo State. This, according to the family member who pleaded for her names not to be mentioned in the press, said her brother was shot dead by the soldier after the deceased refused to hand over his car key to the soldier as demanded, saying her brother only went out with his friend, she identified as Godwin Coco, to get chicken feed when they encountered the soldier at the failed portion of the road that is currently under construction, saying, the Nigerian army has refused to disclose the names of the soldier who allegedly committed the act of murder or take appropriate lawful actions against the suspected murderer. And in a swift reaction, when our reporter contacted the public relations officer of 4 Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Captain Kennedy Anyanwu, via a phone call on Thursday evening, the military authority said it is not true that the soldier in question has not been identified, saying, the matter has been settled, and when our reporter demanded to know how the alleged murder case was settled with the family, the military authority refused to give details. Also, when our reporter contacted the Edo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Officer, ASP Ino Akodim, the police authority said the matter is under investigation and there is no way such matter can be swept under the carpet. According to the bereaved family member, on the 14th of February 2026 at about 10 a.m., my brother, Stephen Obum Neme Nwosu, went to get chicken feed with his friend, Godwin Coco, along the Benin Agbo Express Road, the failed portion that is under construction at Amufi Junction in Benin City, Edo State. Specifically, the friends said they were discussing and did not see the road demarcation on time, and when they sighted it and were about to reverse, a soldier blocked them and told them to hand over the car key, but they told him that they are sorry and will turn back. So, immediately he started turning the car. That got the soldier angry and the soldier started following him. My brother reversed the car and joined the other lane, and from the side mirror, my brother noticed that the soldier was running towards them, and this time, there were two on a bike but one left, while the soldier that they had the conversation with was still following them with the bike man. At this point, he started using his belt on the car and even shot at the car. But my brother and his friend were still driving, and when they got to hold up, they packed at a fuel station and started running by foot. While they were running, the soldier fired shots at them and the bullet landed on my brother's leg. And on a closed range, the soldier shot him again on the same leg. People around said that when the soldier shot my brother again at close range, they gathered him, but the soldier told them that the boy he shot was a robber, so they did not touch the soldier man. The soldier was the same person that carried the victim to the hospital, but the hospital they mentioned, when we went there, the doctor said he had no such patient. We the family wants to hear the soldier's side of the story and who sent him to murder that young man with bright future, with a pregnant wife and a 2-year-old child and his aged mother. The only male child in my family, the only one that speaks for us. We are fine girls, this is too painful for us. We all died that same day, don't know if we can bear this lawsuit. We just want to get the soldier's name, barrack he is from. Indeed, Nigeria has happened to us. We had access to see his body on the 15th of February 2026. I think there are many stories about this one which only the soldier and police needs to give. I need justice for my brother. That same mortuary that the police said we can't visit that the 14th of February. I have visited it many times since that 15th, they showed us the place. So much evil is happening with our security officers. A guy with a 2-year-old child and a pregnant wife, just 3 years in marriage, what should I explain to his wife? A lot is going on under the military uniforms.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Edo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, NPF, has announced the arrest of some serving and already dismissed police officers who worked together as a criminal gang terrorizing members of the public in Edo State. The State Commissioner of Police, Monday Agbonika, who made this known in a press release made available a few hours ago, said the arrest was a major breakthrough against the suspected criminal elements pretending to be law enforcement officers to perpetrate heinous crimes within the state capital, Benin City and its environs. It may be recalled that there have been outcry by residents in Edo State that law enforcement officers are committing or participating in criminal activities in the state. Specifically, in August 2025, some of policemen alongside some civilians were accused of abducting a resident in Benin City. The syndicate was said to have used the silver Toyota Yaris to terrorize citizens, seizing their phones and belongings through intimidation and armed robbery. In December 2025, 4 policemen were accused of extorting 980,000 nairas from a local artisan, Goodness Onyeka, after assaulting him. Earlier in September 2025, the Edo State Police Command reportedly recovered and returned 300,000 nairas extorted from a furniture maker by officers attached to the Oba Market Area Command in Benin City. May 2025, 6 officers, including a chief superintendent of police, CSP, was summoned to Abuja after a viral video showed them demanding either 5,000 nairas or 5 liters of fuel from motorists for lacking electronic central motor registry, ECMR proof, a policy that had actually been suspended then. Also in August 2025, 6 officers were disciplined for extorting 2 million nairas from members of the National Association of Sea Dogs near Benin City after they reportedly used a point-of-sale (POS) machine to withdraw the funds unlawfully. According to the press statement signed by the Edo State Police Command Public Relations Officer, ASP Eno Akodi, the Edo State Police Command, under the leadership of the Commissioner of Police, Edo State Command, CP Monday Agbonika, FDC, wishes to inform the general public of a major breakthrough in the fight against criminal elements disguising as law enforcement officers to perpetrate heinous crimes within Benin City and its environs. The command had, in recent times, received several complaints from members of the public alleging harassment, abduction, and extortion by individuals posing as police officers. These suspects reportedly operate along Tebogo axis off Aduawa, where they unlawfully stop unsuspecting citizens, forcefully convey them around various roads within Benin City, and eventually take them to point of sale, POS operators to fraudulently extort money from them under duress. Disturbed by the gravity of these allegations, the Commissioner of Police, CP Monday Agbonika, FDC, immediately ordered a discreet and intelligence-driven investigation into the matter. Through sustained surveillance, technical intelligence, and coordinated operations by operatives of the command, the criminal network was successfully busted. The following suspects have been arrested in connection with these crimes: Goodluck Jaja, male, POS operator, ASP Bonnie Paul Onahit, Inspector Ehubarim Wisdom, male, Inspector Arabaim God's Power, male, Corporal Mordy Philip, male, Destiny Emmanuel, male, Dismissed Police Corporal, Corporal Ocken Elvis, male, Samuel Nicholas, male, Mini Bus Driver, Etam Bright, male, Mini Bus Driver. Preliminary investigation reveals that the suspects, including some serving and dismissed police personnel, formed a well-organized criminal syndicate responsible for a series of serious crimes including abduction and extortion of innocent citizens. They exploited police accoutrements to deceive victims and carried out their operations with impunity, thereby bringing the name of the Nigeria police force into disrepute. Those that are serving personnel are currently undergoing internal disciplinary procedures, including orderly room trials. Upon conclusion of these processes and the ongoing investigation, they will be arraigned before a court of competent jurisdiction to face the full weight of the law. The command hereby calls on all victims who may have encountered or fallen prey to this organized criminal gang to come forward and assist the police with useful information that will aid further investigation and prosecution. Furthermore, the Edo State Police Command uses this medium to strongly warn all POS operators and merchants to be wary of any individual, including persons in police uniform, who attempt to use their facilities for unlawful transactions or extortion. Any POS operator found to be complicit in such illegal activities will be arrested and prosecuted accordingly. In line with the mandate of the Inspector General of Police of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, IGP Olatunji Rilwandisu, PSC, plus, NPM, the command reassures the good people of Edo State of its unwavering commitment to sanitizing the system, restoring public confidence, and ensuring that no individual, regardless of status, is above the law. Reach the command through the Complainant Response Unit, CRU 081003899992. Public Complaints Bureau, PCB 081509999335.
Osazuwa Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria may have kept mute since more than 48 hours. A faction of the Boko Haram terrorists showed off 416 people, mostly women and children, kidnapped and held hostage when the members of the Jama'atu Ali's Solidarity wal Jihad, JAS, launched a large-scale combat actions between 4th to the 6th of March 2026 against the men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, overran the Africa country military base at Ngosh, killing several soldiers, a figure the Nigeria Authority disputed to be 14 after several reports indicated that more than 40 soldiers were killed during the attack, in addition to more than 100 civilians, including Chief Imam of Ngosh alongside the community elders, killed during the coordinated attacks that lasted days at Ngosh community in Gwoza local government area of Borno State. During the attacks, numbers of people were also taken hostage by the insurgents, with speculations indicating that the hostages are apparently being held at the rugged terrain of the Mandara Mountains, which sit wide across the Nigeria border with Cameroon. That aside, one of the spokespersons of the Boko Haram group said they decided to release a proof of life video of the 416 women and children in their captivity, following the demands made across to them by the Borno South Youths Alliance, BOSYA, and according to the statement issued by the BOSYA when they made the video public on Friday, April 10, 2026. The youths group called on federal government and governments at all levels to ensure the hostages are released, saying specifically that, "We have witnessed cases in states such as Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, and Kebbi where abducted victims regained freedom following interventions by individuals such as Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. We therefore expect equal urgency and commitment in addressing the plight of the Ngosh victims. No region or group of citizens should be treated with less priority." In the footage, several women and elderly men were interviewed by the Boko Haram spokesperson. The kidnapped victims' pleas centered on three main points directly addressed to President Bola Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, and Governor Babagana Zulum, begging the President and Governor to find a way to bring them home within the shortest possible time. The captives expressed fear that a direct military assault on the camp where they are being held could result in the deaths. They echoed the BOSYA apparent sentiment, asking the government to use the same negotiation channels used in northern states like Zamfara, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto and Kaduna states. While the terrorists claimed in the video that they are not torturing the victims, the captives highlighted that many children are falling ill due to the harsh conditions of the forest and the lack of proper food and medicine. The Borno South Youth Alliance, BOSYA, in a statement signed by its president, Sumaila Ibrahim Kaigama Ab, made available on Friday alongside the proof of life video, said it wishes to inform the public that we have been actively and discreetly mediating for the release of our southern Borno brothers and sisters who were abducted when insurgents overran Ngosh. Following days of engagement, discussions, and humanitarian appeals, we were provided with an official figure of 416 victims currently alive in captivity by the abductors. This figure differs from earlier reports circulated by sections of the media, which underestimated the true scale of the situation. BOSYA remains the voice of southern Borno youths and indigenes. As such, we are committed to continuing all possible efforts through mediation, advocacy, and engagement to secure the safe release of our people. Our actions are guided solely by the need to protect lives and restore dignity. To affected families, we wish to state clearly and unequivocally that BOSYA does not support terrorism, insurgency, or the abduction of innocent civilians. However, as representatives of our people, we are prepared to take bold and necessary steps in pursuit of solutions, especially lasting solutions to the persistent insecurity affecting our region. The voices of the kidnapped victims must be heard not just nationally, but globally. We therefore call on the following leaders and authorities to urgently intervene. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima. The distinguished senator representing Southern Borno, Muhammad Ali Ndume. All relevant government officials and stakeholders at both federal and state levels. We have witnessed cases in states such as Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, and Kebbi where abducted victims regained freedom following interventions by individuals such as Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. We therefore expect equal urgency and commitment in addressing the plight of the Ngosh victims. No region or group of citizens should be treated with less priority. The freedom, safety, and well-being of the abducted victims from Gwoza, particularly those from Ngosh, are non-negotiable. We urge the government to act decisively, just as they have been doing in other parts of the country. Furthermore, we call on the Nigerian government, international partners, the United Nations, and global leaders including Donald Trump to support efforts toward the safe and immediate release of all abducted victims. Among them are vulnerable groups, including infants, young children, elderly individuals, and women in extremely fragile conditions. Let it be known to the world that Bosnia is actively mediating and advocating for the release of southern Borno indigenes held captive. We also call on both the Nigerian government and the Borno state government to demonstrate visible and measurable efforts in securing their freedom.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Edo State House of Assembly Speaker, Blessing Sheriff Agbebeku has confirmed the killing of Brigadier General Asani Brema, the commander of the 29 Task Force Brigade in Operation Haddon Kai, when the Brigadier General and his troops came under the coordinated multiple attacks launched by the Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP at Benishek community in Kaga local government area of Borno State early morning night on Thursday, an attack. The Nigeria Defense Headquarters had on Thursday denied the Brigadier General was ever killed alongside his soldiers, insisting the general was alive until Friday morning. The Edo State House of Assembly Speaker, who is also one of the prominent kinsmen of the high-ranking soldier, announced the death of the Brigadier General on behalf of the people of Owen ethnic group in Edo State. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who probably tried to avoid contradicting the statement of denial issued by the Nigeria Defense Headquarters, mourned the deaths and killing of the country soldiers, by thus, simply and apparently logically stating that, I extend my condolences to the families of our gallant soldiers, led by Brigadier General Asani Brema, who made the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of our country today in Borno State. According to the condolence message made available by the Special Advisor on Media to the Edo State House of Assembly Speaker and a prominent broadcaster in the state-owned Edo Broadcasting Service, EBS, Ivy Adodo Ebejele, the Edo State House of Assembly Speaker, Blessing Agbebeku said, on behalf of the entire Assembly and the good people of Owen Nation, mourns the painful loss of our gallant son, Brigadier General O.O. Brema, who paid the ultimate price in service to our dear nation, Nigeria. His bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to the peace and unity of our country will never be forgotten. He stood as a shield for the nation and a symbol of courage for generations to come. This tragic loss is not only a blow to the Nigerian army but a deep wound to Owen land, Edo State, and the nation at large. We are proud of his service, even in grief. We extend our heartfelt condolences to his family, the Nigerian Armed Forces, and all who mourn this hero. May the Almighty grant his soul eternal rest and give us all the strength to bear this irreparable loss. Rest on, brave son of Owen. Your sacrifice will forever speak. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a condolence message issued through the Office of the Special Advisor on Media and Strategy to the President, Bayo Onanuga, said, expressed deep sadness over the loss of the brave soldiers of the 29 Task Force Brigade, Operation Haddon Kai, who died in a coordinated terrorist attack on their camp in Benishek, Borno State. The President also expressed heartfelt condolences to the military and the families of the soldiers, urging them to take heart in the face of the unfortunate loss. The Defense Headquarters confirmed the attack and the tragic loss of lives, which occurred early Thursday, April 9, 2026. President Tinubu praised the courage and heroism of the soldiers who fought valiantly to repel the terrorists and ensure that Boko Haram could not overrun the communities the soldiers protect. While mourning the death of the gallant soldiers, President Tinubu urged the leadership of the armed forces and all soldiers on the front line not to be discouraged, but to draw strength from the nation's deep appreciation for their sacrifices. From the reports I have received, our armed forces have been conducting sustained, intense land and air offensives against the insurgents, neutralizing many of their fighters and commanders. The insurgents' counterattack is a sign of desperation. I extend my condolences to the families of our gallant soldiers, led by Brigadier General Asani Brema, who made the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of our country today in Borno State. The government will never forget their sacrifices. Their sacrifices will not be in vain. Because of the courage and dedication of our troops on the front line, our resolve to defeat terrorism and all forms of violence across Nigeria is stronger than ever. I urge the military high command and our troops in all theaters of operation, do not lose heart, do not be weary, do not be discouraged. Our officers and men should continue to serve with honor, courage, and patriotism. The government will always stand by the armed forces, provide more of the equipment needed and ensure the welfare of all who risk their lives for our safety. I urge Nigerians and the media to continue to support our military in their relentless battle against insurgency and banditry. We should desist from celebrating or condoning the attacks against our troops. These soldiers are our heroes, unforgettable and irreplaceable. My condolences also go to the government and people of Borno State. The federal government will continue to work with the state government to achieve total victory and lasting peace. We had on Thursday reported that the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, has insisted that Brigadier General Asani Brema is alive, after several reports indicated that the commander of the 29 Task Force Brigade in Operation Haddon Kai was left dead alongside several other Nigerian soldiers when the Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, launched a coordinated multiple attacks on military bases at Pulka, Bakinruwa communities in Gwoza local government area and Namdi and Benishek communities in the Kaga local government area of Borno State between the hours of 10 p.m. on Wednesday night and 12 a.m. on Thursday early morning night, killing several numbers of Nigerian soldiers, overran some of the military bases, but the Nigeria Military Authority claimed that Brigadier General Asani Brema and his troops were able to repel the attackers at Benishek, saying, "The Brigadier General is alive and not dead," as widely reported in some media platforms. In addition, the Nigerian Defense Headquarters, in a press statement issued a few hours ago by Major General Michael Onoja, admitted that some numbers of Nigerian soldiers were left dead during the attacks but refused to state the total numbers of soldiers killed by the attackers. Accordingly, the army said, regrettably, the encounter resulted in the loss of a few brave and gallant soldiers who paid the supreme price in the line of duty.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, has insisted that Brigadier General Asani Brema is alive, after several reports indicated that the commander of the 29 Task Force Brigade in Operation Haddon Kai was left dead alongside several other Nigerian soldiers when the Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, launched a coordinated multiple attacks on military bases at Pulka, Bakinruwa communities in Gwoza local government area and Namdi and Benishek communities in the Kaga local government area of Borno State between the hours of 10 p.m. on Wednesday night and 12 a.m. on Thursday early morning night, killing several numbers of Nigerian soldiers, overran some of the military bases, but the Nigeria Military Authority claimed that Brigadier General Asani Brema and his troops were able to repel the attackers at Benishek, saying, "The Brigadier General is alive and not dead," as widely reported in some media platforms. In addition, the Nigerian Defense Headquarters, in a press statement issued a few hours ago by Major General Michael Onoja, admitted that some numbers of Nigerian soldiers were left dead during the attacks but refused to state the total numbers of soldiers killed by the attackers. Accordingly, the army said, regrettably, the encounter resulted in the loss of a few brave and gallant soldiers who paid the supreme price in the line of duty. According to the Nigeria Defense Headquarters, in a press release that looked apparently self-contradicting, questionable and somehow dishonest with facts, in continuation of the Armed Forces of Nigeria's, AFN, counter-terrorism efforts, troops of the 29 Task Force Brigade in Operation Haddon Kai came under a coordinated terrorist attack on their location at the brigade headquarters in Benishek, Borno State. The attack occurred at approximately 0:30 hours, 12:30 a.m., on Thursday the 9th of April 2026, as insurgents attempted to breach the defensive perimeter of the military installation. However, the troops, led by the Commander 29 Brigade, Brigadier General Asani Brema, responded with exceptional courage, professionalism, and superior firepower. In a well-coordinated counteraction, the insurgents were decisively engaged and forced to retreat in disarray, abandoning their mission and leaving behind traces of their failed assault. This attack is a clear indication of the desperation of terrorist elements who, having suffered significant losses in recent operations, continue to resort to futile and ill-fated offensives against well-defended military positions. The swift and decisive response by troops underscores the high level of combat readiness, resilience, and operational effectiveness of Operation Haddon Kai in safeguarding critical locations and maintaining pressure on terrorist groups across the Northeast Theater. Regrettably, the encounter resulted in the loss of a few brave and gallant soldiers who paid the supreme price in the line of duty. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Olatunbosun Oluyede, honors their heroism, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to the defense of the nation. Their courage will forever remain a source of pride and inspiration to the armed forces of Nigeria and the entire nation. The High Command extends its deepest condolences to their families and loved ones. In line with established military tradition and respect for the fallen, the general public and media are kindly requested to allow the armed forces to formally notify the next of kin before the release of further details. The public is also urged to disregard misinformation, sensational reports, and unverified content circulating across social media platforms, as these undermine ongoing operations and national security efforts. The Armed Forces of Nigeria, in collaboration with other security agencies and stakeholders, remain resolute and undeterred in the ongoing fight against terrorism and insurgency. Additional clearance and exploitation operations are ongoing in the general area to track and neutralize fleeing insurgents, as well as to deny them any opportunity to regroup. The Chief of Defense Staff commends the bravery, discipline, and steadfastness of the troops, whose sacrifices continue to ensure the safety, stability, and sovereignty of Nigeria. Their dedication in one of the most challenging operational environments reaffirms the armed forces' commitment to restoring lasting peace in the Northeast and across the country. The general public is encouraged to continue supporting the armed forces through timely and credible information that can aid ongoing operations. Citizens are urged to remain calm, vigilant, and law-abiding as security forces sustain momentum in ongoing operations. Further updates will be provided as necessary. Signed by Michael Oloja, Major General, Director, Defense Media Operations, Defense Headquarters, Abuja on the 9th of April 2026. International News Agency, AFP, while quoting its source as republished by Punch newspaper, stated that terrorists in northeast Nigeria killed a brigadier general in an assault on a military base. A local government chairman told AFP on Thursday, the second killing of a high-ranking officer in 5 months. Africa's most populous country has been fighting a terrorist insurgency for 17 years, since Boko Haram's 2009 uprising, which has seen the emergence of powerful splinter groups, including Islamic State West Africa Province. In an overnight attack, unidentified terrorists killed at least 18 soldiers and torched vehicles at a base in Benishek, about 75 kilometers from Borno state capital Maiduguri, an intelligence source told AFP. Unfortunately, the brigade commander, Brigadier General O.O. Brema, lost his life, Kaga local government chairman, Zanalawan Ajami told AFP in a phone interview. 2 intelligence sources confirmed Brema's death to AFP. His death follows the killing of Brigadier General Musa Uba by ISWAP in November. He was the highest-ranking military official to die in the long-running conflict since 2021. They overran the brigade, one of the intelligence sources said, giving the death toll as, at least, 18. The second intelligence source said that the terrorists killed several troops and burned vehicles and buildings before they withdrew, without giving a toll. The Army and Nigeria's defense headquarters did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Borno capital Maiduguri has seen 2 suicide bombings since December, the type of bloody, urban attacks reminiscent of the insurgency's peak a decade ago. On Wednesday, the U.S. State Department said in a notice it was authorizing non-emergency U.S. government employees to leave Abuja due to the deteriorating security situation. While the insurgency is concentrated in the northeastern countryside, terrorists from Nigeria and the neighboring Sahel have made inroads western Nigeria, where organized crime gangs known as bandits have been raiding villages and extorting farmers and artisanal miners for years. Gunmen killed at least 90 people across several remote villages in northwest Nigeria this week, according to an AFP tally of tolls given by local and humanitarian sources. Among the attacks was an assault in Kebbi State that police blamed a local terrorist group known as Mahmuda, which is affiliated with Al-Qaeda. Kebbi sits on Nigeria's border with Benin and Niger and since 2025 has been targeted by a rising number of terrorist attacks. Mike Arnold, an American politician who is a prominent and controversial figure in Nigerian social and political discourse, stated via his Facebook page that, "I first reported this overnight, as it was happening. I've since received multiple confirmations. From what I know, this is what happened. ISWAP launched simultaneous attacks on 2 Borno State locations overnight, Pulka community in Gwoza local government area and Benishek town in Kaga local government area. In Pulka, fighters struck the military operations base at approximately 10:25 p.m., engaging soldiers until troops ran out of ammunition. Attackers then moved to a road construction site, destroying equipment and vehicles belonging to Decency Road construction firm, before setting civilian homes ablaze. Civilians fled to surrounding mountains. Reinforcements arrived from Brigade Gwoza and repelled the attack. 1 civilian JTF member was killed. Military casualties unconfirmed but reported. In Benishek, terrorists struck at approximately 1 a.m., burning trucks and commercial vehicles and killing motorists and passengers who had stopped for the night due to the routine evening closure of the Maiduguri-Damaturu-Kano road. A brigadier general, the military's commanding officer at Benishek, was killed in the attack. It is the highest-ranking officer killed since Brigadier General Uba was killed in a Borno ambush in late 2025. The 2 attacks were coordinated and simultaneous. Senator Ali Ndume confirmed both incidents, noting that troops are doing their best but lack sufficient equipment to confront the terrorists. Pulka currently hosts thousands of displaced survivors from the Ngosh massacre of March 3rd. The terrorists hit it again last night. My thoughts: Tinubu and his administration should relocate to the military base there. Perhaps the next attack will solve all of Nigeria's problems all at once, when they are visited by the brothers and sons, and given a fitting send-off. Note: the troops lack insufficient equipment, too bad they can't fight with restoring hope, buses, or bags of rice, or 300 million naira's wristwatches. The Nigerian government is illegitimate, illegal, corrupt and complicit. Innocent people continue to pay the price. This must end.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Nigeria President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given reasons why he could not visit the Angwin Rakuba community, the scene some citizens were massacred by terrorists on Palm Sunday, saying, upon arrival in Jos, the visit encountered some logistical challenges. While the road distance from the airport to Jos Township is approximately 40 minutes, the runway does not support night flights due to the absence of navigational aids. The constraints made it unfeasible to drive into town, meet victims for on-the-spot assessment and return to the airport before dusk. Consequently, state and federal officials decided to bring representatives of the affected community to a hall adjoining the airport so the president could meet with them promptly while adhering to flight restrictions. Swiftly, Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State and the Labour Party presidential candidate in the last general elections in Nigeria, said, during his visit to Benue State in June 2025, Bola Ahmed Tinubu stopped at the government house but did not go to the actual scene where innocent Nigerians lost their lives. Similarly, in Jos, his engagement ended at the airport instead of at the affected communities. At a time when Nigerians are enduring days without power, our leaders cannot even stay a few minutes without it. Now is the time to stop incompetent leaders, those lacking the capacity and compassion, who prioritize their own comfort over the well-being of the people and make empty promises. On the other hand, Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president of Nigeria and the last general elections presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, demanded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu act as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and stated how dozens have continued to be killed in Benue State less than 72 hours, another killings in Kaduna State and thousands of people seen running away at a community in Nasarawa State after the president had visited Plateau State and promised such attack wouldn't occur again, according to Atiku Abubakar. I wish to remind President Bola Tinubu to keep to his words that this Angwan Rakuba attack will not repeat itself. It does appear that those words are hollow because barely 72 hours. Another attack in Benue State claimed over a dozen lives. The commander-in-chief should brace up to the challenges of governance. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, through the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga on April 3, 2026 in a statement said, President Tinubu's itinerary for Thursday included two main engagements, receiving the Chadian President, Mahamat Idris Deby Itno, and proceeding to Iperu, Ogun State. After Governor Caleb Mutfwang's briefing, President Tinubu suspended the trip to Ogun. Overnight, the presidential villa made arrangements for the visit to Jos, with presidential assets quickly deployed. However, the president could not postpone the scheduled visit by the Chadian leader. The president of Chad was at the presidential villa for a very important bilateral meeting focused on strengthening security collaboration between the two countries. The meeting ran longer than expected, affecting President Tinubu's scheduled departure for Jos. Upon arrival in Jos, the visit encountered some logistical challenges. While the road distance from the airport to Jos Township is approximately 40 minutes, the runway does not support night flights due to the absence of navigational aids. The constraints made it unfeasible to drive into town, meet victims for on-the-spot assessment and return to the airport before dusk. Consequently, state and federal officials decided to bring representatives of the affected community to a hall adjoining the airport so the president could meet with them promptly while adhering to flight restrictions. Among the people in the hall were the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Army Staff and the Inspector General of Police, who had visited Rakuba, the epicenter of the conflict. President Tinubu deployed the high-level team to Rakuba, including the Senior Special Assistant on Community Engagement, to undertake critical groundwork on security and community engagement, with a view to stabilizing the area before his arrival. Beyond expressing his condolences to the victims, President Tinubu's objective was to engage with critical stakeholders in Plateau State on ending the recurring, decades-old conflict that has resulted in needless loss of lives and property. President Tinubu's visit to Jos was not merely symbolic. It was a strategic, high-level engagement aimed at bringing all stakeholders together to address the root causes of conflict and insecurity in the state. He interacted with the victims, consoled them, and listened to them. He also listened to local leaders and assured them that the federal government would deliver justice and end the cycle of violence. He promised the deployment of 5,000 AI-enabled cameras to monitor the city and enhance the identification and arrest of troublemakers. Furthermore, the president invited the community leaders to Abuja for further talks on finding a lasting solution to the recurring violence in the state. The meeting, televised live, was solemn and reassuring, boosting residents' confidence. President Tinubu achieved the purpose of his visit, despite the naysayers' attempts to ridicule it. He dropped an unmistakable message: sustainable peace must be built with the people, not imposed on them. Reacting, Peter Obi said, during the 2023 campaign, President Tinubu made a clear electoral promise: if I don't give you constant electricity in 4 years, don't vote for me for a second term. When he took office in 2023, Nigeria had a power supply of over 4,000 megawatts and lower tariffs. Today, the electricity power supply is less than 4,000 megawatts on the average, and Nigerians are paying higher tariffs. Nigeria currently has the lowest per capita electricity consumption in the world, with a rate below 30% of the African average. Africa's average is 617 kWh, Nigeria's is 144 kilowatt-hours. This means that Nigerians consume least electricity than other Africans. In a glaring display of disregard for promises and a lack of trust, President Tinubu, during a brief airport stopover to visit grieving families of the Jos attack on Thursday, April 2, 2026, stated that one of the reasons for his 10-minute stay was that the airport had no electricity. "You have no light here. I fly out in 10 minutes. At a time when Nigerians are enduring days without power, our leaders cannot even stay a few minutes without it. Now is the time to stop incompetent leaders, those lacking the capacity and compassion, who prioritize their own comfort over the well-being of the people and make empty promises." During his visit to Benue State in June 2025, Bola Ahmed Tinubu stopped at the government house but did not go to the actual scene where innocent Nigerians lost their lives. Similarly, yesterday in Jos, his engagement ended at the airport instead of at the affected communities. What happened in Plateau yesterday highlights a complete absence of leadership. True leadership requires presence, empathy, compassion, and a willingness to meet people where their pain truly lies. For citizens who have just lost loved ones, homes, and their sense of safety, being addressed from an airport tarmac is profoundly inadequate. This approach exacerbates the sense of abandonment already felt by innocent Nigerians who have endured repeated cycles of violence without meaningful protection or justice. Plateau deserves more than distant words. It requires urgent action and a clear commitment to ending the insecurity that continues to claim innocent lives. In such moments, leadership must not only be visible but also tangible, standing with victims, listening to survivors, and acknowledging the depth of the grief. If we truly desire a better Nigeria, we must demand leadership that is present, responsive, and responsible at all times. We must resist the suffocation of our democracy by those who once claimed to have sacrificed to defend it, but are now doing everything possible to undermine it and silence opposition. History will not be kind to those who traded the struggle for democracy for the comfort of power. We will not remain silent, we will not be intimidated, and we will not surrender the future of this nation. The will of the people must prevail, stronger, louder, and impossible to suppress. Atiku Abubakar said, "I wish to remind President Bola Tinubu to keep to his words that this Angwin Rakuba attack will not repeat itself." It does appear that those words are hollow because barely 72 hours, another attack in Benue State claimed over a dozen lives. The Commander-in-Chief should brace up to the challenges of governance. I am also concerned, like all well-meaning Nigerians, about what is going on in a Nasarawa community where families had fled on foot amid threats of attack. And as if those are not enough, there was a fresh attack in Kaduna State at the weekend. The primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and property and the promotion of the welfare of citizens. Enough of these hollow rhetoric, Mr. President. It is time to fold your sleeves and get to work. Meanwhile, my thoughts and prayers are with the families who may have lost a dear one in these attacks. I am outraged by the barbaric attack in Gari Yahweh community, Angwin Rakuba, Jos, which claimed the lives of scores of innocent Nigerians and left many others injured. That this heinous assault occurred on Sunday night, March 29, 2026, is yet another damning indictment of the near-total collapse of security in our country. What we are witnessing is not merely a security lapse, but a tragic descent into lawlessness where human lives are treated as expendable. Despite endless pronouncements and so-called marching orders, insecurity remains the grim, daily reality of ordinary Nigerians who continue to bear the brunt of a failing system. It is long past the time for outrage without action. The anger across the land must now compel urgent, decisive political will to confront and crush this menace. The continued slaughter of innocent citizens cannot become our new normal. My thoughts and prayers are with the families and loved ones of the victims in this dark and painful moment.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. You have no light at the airport, and I have to fly back within the next 10 minutes. To you leaders, I've heard this. To the victim, There's nothing I can give you, whether money in billions, but console you and promise you that this experience will not repeat itself. I take, for example, Favor Rodan. I know the pain. I see how on the video you head on to Ayuba and the pain and agony in your heart. But it's only God. It's only God who can give you joy and comfort. No amount of money can pay all of you back. Yes, as government, we will try our best. Who had accommodated us politically. I brought the symbol of this cap to break the shackle of violence, shackle of ignorance, shackle of poverty, shackle of hopelessness. We must break it together. I thank the men and women of the armed forces, particularly the police, for what they are doing and what they are about to do. You must unearth and find the killers. I'm glad IGP is here. I'm glad Cries is here too, Chief of Army Staff. I'm glad the Minister of Defense is here. Our dear leaders, I've been to Jos. I've enjoyed Jos in those days of peace. We've had our political activities here, Yaya Kande. I'm glad you are still alive. We thank God for you and many of you. Thank you. I used to point to your house where we spent the night, where the leaders, both the leaders of our politics, where I was active as a young man. You accommodated us. You opened your doors for us. Then why do we build a division? Our promise then was progressive development.
There has been gunshot by the security personnel.
Improved standard of living for our people.
There will be another gunshot.
Not to bury, but to develop.
The market, most people are stranded at this point.
Immediately we return to Abuja.
If you can look from here,
The committee, as mentioned, you increase the number of leaders,
they can't go anywhere, they can't move further.
including Natawe, the governor, and the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. The minister, thank you. Come see me, take numeric analysis. You are a data person. For the victims, let's see what we can do. For their losses, we cannot replace in human beings. But whatever we do to give them minimum comfort, We will.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Young man who identified himself as a 400-level student in the Department of Statistics at the University of Jos, Unijos in Plateau State has given accounts how he was told to go and collect the dead body of his sibling on the phone by the attackers who on Wednesday were seen in a viral video that mobbed and stoned his sibling almost to death at an ever-busy road near the permanent site of the University of Jos. Accordingly, he said the victim, who happened to be his younger sibling, is also a 300-level student in the Department of Geology from the same University of Jos, saying his younger sibling only went out around 8 or 9 on Wednesday morning to resolve issue with his bank account at Terminus area of the Jos city when he came under attack after the driver of the commercial tricycle or keke he entered abandoned him halfway and asked him to find way out for his own escape as the rampaging mobs took over the road. According to the elder brother of the mob victim, who also introduced himself simply as Nando, his younger sibling, already sensing danger, called him on the phone that the keke driver had abandoned him halfway before the junction of his house, that he's currently running on the street towards home, adding, the victim begged him to look for commercial motorcycle or Okada rider to advance towards his direction and wait at their street junction to help him home, but while he made attempt to do as requested by his younger brother, the security operatives in the area prevented him, saying they can't allow him go out because the situation in town was too dangerous. He said while he was looking helpless, he decided to put a call across to his younger brother, only for the phone's call to be answered by the attackers, who spoke to him in Hausa language that they have killed his brother, that he should go to the scene to pick his younger brother's dead body. He said he started crying and a lot of people around started consoling him, while the security operatives at the senior staff quarters gate still prevented him from going out until there is normalcy in the area. He said some sympathizers took him home from the point he was to the university staff quarters, where his neighbors who came in to also console him started encouraging him not to cry again, with the optimism that his younger brother is not dead. He said one of his neighbors thereafter asked him to report the issue at the police station, which they did, and submitted the snapped copy of the victim's student identity card at the police station and returned home waiting for feedback from the police. He said he was waiting on the police for feedback. He decided to log into his WhatsApp group chats, and behold, he saw a video of his younger brother being interviewed at a hospital bed inside an undisclosed medical center, and that was how he knew he was still alive and his whereabouts. It would be recalled that we had reported that it may not be wrong to say lack of proper accountability by the Nigeria police force, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, is largely responsible for the daily killings in the troubled Jos city of Plateau State. This is probably glaring on Wednesday when a resident reported with a video evidence of a disturbing situation wherein a man was seen mobbed and stoned to death at a very popular and ever-busy road, apparently within the area or near the University of Jos permanent site. Group of attackers, as seen in the video, operated for some minutes, if not up to an hour, used sticks, stones among others to hit the victim's head until they were satisfied the man would have been dead, while vehicles were seen speeding off and moving away from them with no resistance or timely response from the Nigerian security operatives, even when the worsening security situations and tensions in Plateau State have become of global concern. The Plateau State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, in a statement on Wednesday, only said a disagreement ensued between some youths in Nasarawa Gwong community of Jos North local government area on Wednesday and caused minor tensions in the town, saying, unfortunately, some hoodlums and crisis merchants took advantage of the situation to cause fear and panic among traders and students within the university community. However, the command, in collaboration with other security agencies, swiftly intervened, arrested the situation and restored calm in the area, but the Nigeria Police Force command apparently kept mute on the now viral video of a man being mobbed and stoned to death in a brutal and highly provocative manner that can cause a reprisal attack, more so, as daily killings in the state are attributed to religious differences, although some persons said the victim was still alive. But Sun newspaper reported on Thursday morning that 3 persons, including the victim, were killed in the fresh violence that erupted in Plateau State on Wednesday.
When the day break, my brother was like, he wants to go to terminus because he was like, he's having an issue with his bank. So he said that he'll be going to terminus so that he want to rectify the issue and come back. So I'm going to terminus, and like that's how the thing started, because he left from around 8 to 9 terminus. So when he reached terminus, and he was like, the bank was not even open itself because there is tension still going on. When he saw that the bank was not open, UBA bank, so as he want to turn and started coming back to quarters. And that's how the thing happened. You just see people running everywhere, everybody just trying to escape, running. He now entered KK, he managed to go to KK. So he entered, and like the KK was even taking not too far from terminus, yeah. And the KK man saw that they are just fighting, people are running for their dear life, all this kind of stuff. Now stop and say, just he said like you just come down and know how you just go and escape. So when my brother came down, he saw the situation, he now picked his phone. He called me that he's in terminus, trains coming back. He got the KK, but the KK man didn't reach him to our junction. So, but it's not quite far, it's not too far from our junction, yeah. So he's just running like with his leg so that maybe he reach our junction so that he enter inside senior staff quarters. And he was like, please, can I come to the junction? Maybe if you can see a bike, something like that, so that I'll come and carry him or help him out. And I was okay, let me come down to the junction. So when we end that call, and I came out of my room, I locked my room. And when I was trying to go out, I reached our senior staff quarters gate. The securities there couldn't allow me to go out because of the condition of the place. Because of the condition of the place, it's not that safe. So they said that I will not be going out of the Bauchi road. I have to stay. Because even lock the gate, they didn't allow me to go. And I was like, but my brother called me, and this is how this is. They're not okay. If there is a case, let me call him back. So when I called him, and it's the people that I don't know, the people that attack him, I don't even know. They are the one that picked the call, and they was like, they picked the call. I don't say hello. The next thing they start telling me that that's what they were telling me in Hausa, that they have killed my brother. I should come and take his corpse. From there, my heart just broke. I just started crying. I was crying. When people were coming, they were seeing me crying. Everything was in. They just managed to take me to my boys' quarters. So when I reached there, I was even crying. I was just crying. My neighbors, people around, they came out, and I was like, "What is going on?" And I'll tell them, "This is what is going on with my brother. He went out to terminus, coming back, all this kind of stuff." And they were like, let me keep quiet. My brother is not dead. They believe that he will still come back. Let me stop crying. They believe that my brother is, maybe someone come and rescue him to the hospital or something like that. Or maybe his fall fell down and they pick it, and they were just trying to put fear in me. And I was like, all right, let me just try and consult me. They calm me down. I said, okay. So when I stayed for 1 hour, let me just say 1 hour. I was really, really worried. Then one of my landlady, my neighbors, she came and told me out that let us just go back to the security people and go and report to them that maybe they can go out and look for him, or even if they're like he's dead, but let them find and bring him. Okay. Thank God he left his ID card. He didn't took his ID card to terminus. So I carried the ID card along with me. So we tell them that, so this is the person that he went to terminus, and we don't even know whether they have killed him or he's still alive. They now collect the ID card, they snap the ID card. They now say, okay, let me just go back to my VQ. Let me just go and relax. That they will know what to do about it. And I'll say, okay. So I now went back to my quarters. I was there 1 hour, 2 hours, around exactly 12 to 1. Then I now log into my group chat. Then they started posting videos. Because my group chat, they know me. So there's also the video online, and just started posting on our WhatsApp platform. And I was like, when I enter, I check the video, and I play the video, and I hear it's my brother's voice. They were like trying to they interviewed him. They were asking him, okay, what is your name? He said his name is Long the Mall Sharp. Which department? He said geology, 200 level, University of Jos. Then the woman was like, okay, do you have a relative or do you stay with anyone around? Then he said yes. He said, what is the name of the person? He said his name is Nandong. I said, okay. And the woman was right there. She asked him, okay, which department? He said statistics department, 400 level. The woman was write everything there. Then they just post the video online. So that's how people were just attacking me. People started calling me everything. That's how I know where is where.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
It may not be wrong to say lack of proper accountability by the Nigeria police force. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, is largely responsible for the daily killings in the troubled Jos city of Plateau State. This is probably glaring on Wednesday when a resident reported with a video evidence of a disturbing situation wherein a man was seen mobbed and stoned to death at a very popular and ever-busy road apparently within the area or near the University of Jos permanent site. Group of attackers as seen in the video operated for some minutes if not up to an hour, used sticks, stones among others to hit the victim's head until they were satisfied the man would have been dead, while vehicles were seen speeding off and moving away from them with no resistance or timely response from the Nigerian security operatives, even when the worsening security situations and tensions in Plateau State have become of global concern. The Plateau State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, in a statement on Wednesday, only said a disagreement ensued between some youths in Nasarawa Gwong community of Jos North local government area on Wednesday and caused minor tensions in the town, saying, unfortunately, some hoodlums and crisis merchants took advantage of the situation to cause fear and panic among traders and students within the university community. However, the command, in collaboration with other security agencies, swiftly intervened, arrested the situation and restored calm in the area, but the Nigeria Police Force Command apparently kept mute on the now viral video of a man being mobbed and stoned to death in a brutal and highly provocative manner that can cause a reprisal attack, more so, as daily killings in the state are attributed to religious differences. Although some persons said the victim was still alive, but Sun newspaper reported on Thursday morning that 3 persons including the victim were killed in the fresh violence that erupted in Plateau State on Wednesday. According to the police press release signed and made available by the Plateau State Police Command Public Relations Officer, Alfred Alabo, following the relaxation of the 48-hour curfew by the Executive Governor of Plateau State, the Commissioner of Police, CP Basiewa, advises members of the public to comply with the curfew imposition, as there will be strict enforcement. In the early hours of today, a disagreement which ensued between some youths in Nasarawa Gwong community of Jos North local government area caused minor tensions in the town. Unfortunately, some hoodlums and crisis merchants took advantage of the situation to cause fear and panic among traders and students within the university community. However, the command, in collaboration with other security agencies, swiftly intervened, arrested the situation and restored calm in the area. Efforts have since been made by the police, the state government and the leadership of the school to provide buses to convey the students to their preferred locations, while massive security deployment has been made by the command to secure other students and school facilities. So far, the command has arrested 7 suspects, including one Matthew Musa, 27 years, who was arrested in possession of 2 locally made firearms, and one Yakubu Abdullahi, 26 years old, who was wearing a military uniform with an extra shirt and a forged Nigerian military school identity card. The suspects are currently under investigation at the state CID and will be charged to court upon conclusion. The CP hereby warns all criminal elements who intend to use this as an avenue to cause mayhem within the state, that the command will not hesitate to deal with them severely in accordance with the law. He further warns that the command will not stand and watch lawless hoodlums turn the state into a theater for violence. He therefore calls on all parents, traditional, religious leaders to warn their children, wards, congregants and followers to abide by the curfew restrictions, as the command will show no mercy in ensuring that the law takes its full course. To report any suspicious activities within your environment, visit the nearest police station or contact our control room through the numbers below, 07059473022 and 08038907662, PPRO phone number 08060545670 and PCB phone numbers 07058001055. Additional number 07068890355. In a statement personally signed on Wednesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, "I have postponed my trip to Iperu, Ogun State. My first duty at this moment is to stand with the people of Plateau. I will be in Jos to commiserate with families who have lost loved ones and to reaffirm that those who seek to spread fear will not prevail. We will continue to strengthen our security response and ensure that justice is done. From Plateau, I will proceed to Lagos to observe Good Friday, and then continue with scheduled engagements in Ogun, Lagos, and Bayelsa focused on infrastructure, trade, and economic growth. In moments of grief, we must stand together. In moments of progress, we must keep building. The work continues. Nigeria first." Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State also stated in a statement on Wednesday that, "Today, I visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to brief him on the Palm Sunday night attack in the Angwin Rakuba community of Jos North local government area, and to update him on the proactive measures we have taken to address the situation. The incident was deeply unfortunate, but we thank God that the situation has now been brought under control. In response to the attack, we swiftly implemented several proactive steps, including the imposition of a 48-hour curfew, the reinforcement of the existing ban on motorcycle operations within the Greater Jos Master Plan, and the immediate convening of a State Security Council meeting to review and strengthen our security framework to prevent further escalation. This morning, we relaxed the curfew from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. to allow residents attend to essential activities. Regrettably, some miscreants took advantage of this window to engage in looting and attempt to disrupt the peace. I am, however, pleased to report that our security forces responded promptly and restored order without delay. The President expressed his support for the decisive measures we have put in place to contain the situation and prevent a recurrence of such unfortunate incidents. He also offered valuable counsel on strategies to achieve lasting peace in the state and extended his heartfelt condolences to the victims and the people of Plateau State. Deeply moved by the situation, the President has graciously adjusted his schedule to undertake an emergency visit to Plateau State as a demonstration of his concern, solidarity, and commitment to the people. He has also approved additional measures to be implemented in collaboration with security agencies to further stabilize the situation. Punch newspaper had reported earlier on Wednesday that tension has again erupted in Jos, Plateau State, as fresh attacks by hoodlums on motorists and residents were recorded across several parts of the city on Wednesday, despite the recent relaxation of the curfew by the state government. According to our correspondent, sources said a young man walking along the road leading to the Unijos permanent site was hacked to death by hoodlums who descended on him without provocation. The killing further heightened panic among residents already on edge over the growing unrest. In the terminus, Bauchi Road and Gangier areas, several motorists had their windscreens smashed as mobs attacked passing vehicles and pedestrians. Business activities were paralyzed across affected communities, with many shop owners refusing to open for fear of being caught in the violence. Banks operating in the volatile locations were also forced to shut down operations temporarily, as staff and customers struggled to navigate the escalating tension. Residents listed the most affected areas as the Unijos Corridor, Bauchi Road, Farangada, Tina Junction and Chobe, noting that movement had significantly thinned out as many people opted to remain indoors. Sun newspaper also reported that, few hours after the relaxation of the 48-hour curfew imposed by the Plateau state government over Sunday's killing in Angwin Rakuba, fresh violence erupted around the city centre yesterday, heightening tension and uncertainty. In the latest orgy of violence, 2 persons were killed in Gardabu area when some rampaging youths attacked traders who had displayed their wares early in the morning, while the 3rd person was hacked to death along Ferengada markets near the main campus of the University of Jos, Unijos. In the heat of the mayhem, the bells of the Fatima Cathedral Church continuously tolled, signaling troubles. Consequently, youth from Gardabu, Apata and Chobe barricaded the gigantic edifice and chased away hoodlums who attempted to attack the church.
As the Chief Security Officer of the state, how can you correct this impression, the true picture of what is happening?
Well, in a crisis of this nature, you can't reduce it to one reason. It's a mixture of multiple reasons, and sometimes you can only deduce the actual reasons when you are able to get 2 groups of people, first the victims and then the attackers. Unfortunately, we've not been able to lay hands on the attackers yet to know their identities and their motive. But of course, the victims would normally speak like you have said. But we are seeing this as an act of criminality. It's barbaric, we condemn it. It's an act of terrorism because whatever religion you belong to, it does not give you any basis to come and do the kind of actions that were done on Sunday. We're therefore hoping that going forward, we'll deal with this as criminality.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has commended the governors of Kaduna and Plateau states after citizens were massacred by terrorists almost simultaneously on Sunday in the 2 states, with the president claiming Governor Caleb Mutfwang contained the situation in Jos without specifically stating what the governor did. Even when armed terrorists successfully invaded and massacred citizens, or brutally and indiscriminately shot sporadically and killed numbers of persons at Gari Yahweh quarters in the Angwin Rakuba community of Jos North local government area of Plateau State on Sunday night, which was also the Christians' last day of the Holy Week of Lent known as Palm Sunday leading up to Easter celebration. Residents said the terrorists raided the community and operated for a long period of time that lasted up to an hour without resistance or any action from government. Some even accused men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, of allegedly aiding and giving cover to the terrorists to escape. Specifically, one of the youth's leaders in Plateau State, who spoke with a prominent Nigeria social media personality, Martins Vincent Otts aka Veridakman, who visited the scene of the crime, said, Nigeria's soldiers prevented the youths from going after the terrorists and stood in between the gaps shooting at the youths while the terrorists escaped. But, in a swift reaction on Tuesday, Nigeria Army Authority debunked the claim that the soldiers gave the terrorists a cover, saying, the soldiers arrived the scene with 4 gun trucks after the terrorists had left due to long distance and acted professionally without stating what the soldiers did professionally before the Sunday massacre. On Friday, in one of the burial ceremonies of the people that were previously killed by terrorists in Plateau State during the Christians' Holy Week of Lent, Reverend Ezekiel Dakamo, while speaking, said, in this village, Rim in Riyam local government area, alone, we have received attacks from the Islamic terrorists more than 24 times, and many residents said the Sunday massacre was premeditated and the governor and the president apparently failed to put proactive measures in place to prevent the attacks. That aside, almost at the same time on Sunday, another group of terrorists attacked Kahir village in Kagako local government area of Kaduna State, shot sporadically at residents and killed and kidnapped several numbers of wedding guests, a crime, according to Punch newspaper, A resident said the attackers operated freely and successfully up to an hour without resistance, but President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in a press statement on Tuesday specifically said, "I commend Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State for his efforts in containing the situation in Jos and Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State for supporting the rescue and containment efforts." Apparently reacting to the worsening security situation in Nigeria shortly after the president's press release was published on Tuesday, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, former Nigeria Chief of Army Staff, posted a video in his verified Facebook social media account with a statement, "History, Maiduguri, Nigeria, year 2017. For the first time in years, the Nigerian army conducted military drills in the Sambisa forest, which previously had been a stronghold for Boko Haram. Voice of America, VOA was given rare access to the exercises. Formations of the Nigerian army performed their 2017 annual drill in Borno State, in northeast Nigeria. The location in Sambisa forest was no accident. The Nigerian army retook Sambisa late 2016 and moved its annual exercises there. The event was attended by leaders from the military and the Nigerian government. In contrast to the commendation of Plateau and Kaduna states' governors, it would be recalled that President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State on March 18, 2025 and gave 6-month suspension to the governor, Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, and the State House of Assembly on the grounds that the Fubara administration was failing to protect critical infrastructure, specifically regarding the reported vandalization of oil pipelines like Trans-Niger Pipeline without intervention, even in the face of verifiable facts that on February 18, 2025, exactly 1 month before his suspension, Fubara met with the General Officer Commanding, GOC of the 6th Division, pledging full support for military efforts to curb pipeline vandalism and protect national infrastructure, and invested in operational equipment, including donating vehicles, gunboats, and an AW-139 helicopter to the Nigerian Air Force on March 5, 2025 to enhance their efficiency in patrolling oil facilities, while Fubara also publicly charged traditional rulers to actively work for peace in the domains and help stem the tide of oil bunkering and vandalism. According to American humanitarian and people's rights activist, Alex Barbier, if you have no right to breathe, what right do you have? While people are fighting for elections, and painting banners of Tinubu, and everybody's worrying about APC, PDP, LP, you are being killed. At what point will the people care about life? Alex Barbier made this in reaction to the Sunday massacre at Gari Yahweh area in Jos, while speaking with the locals at the scene of the crime. While Reverend Ezekiel Dakamo called on President Donald Trump of the United States, U.S. to send a small unit of U.S. soldiers alongside U.S. drones to Plateau State, else the people in the state would be wiped out by the Islami terrorists. Reacting to soldiers giving the terrorists cover to escape, Captain Chinonso Polycarpote, the media information officer of Joint Task Force Operation Enduring Peace, in a rebuttal on Tuesday, stated in quotes that the attention of Headquarters Joint Task Force Operation Enduring Peace has been drawn to a false comment by one of the youth leaders of Angwin Rakuba community, circulating on various social media platforms, alleging that troops provided cover for the perpetrators of Palm Sunday unprovoked attack at Angwin Rakuba community in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. Ordinarily, the reply to the comment made by the youth leader would not have been necessary, especially in this moment of grief, but for the purpose of clarity and the benefit of well-meaning Nigerians, it is expedient to state unequivocally that at no point did troops provide any form of cover for the terrorists elements who carried out the unfortunate attack that claimed the lives of innocent citizens. Rather, troops on receiving a distress call on the unfortunate incident swiftly mobilized to the scene, which was far away from where they were deployed, and observed that the attackers had fled. Troops acted professionally to avert what could have spiraled to endless bloodshed and pursued the fleeing criminals, as can be attested to by so many survivors who were at the scene of the attack. Specifically, 4 gun trucks mounted by troops were dispatched to the incident scene, and they acted professionally on arrival, as confirmed by other security agencies, as well as eyewitnesses at the scene of the attack. Nonetheless, the allegation was promptly investigated and confirmed to be false. The comment by the youth leader is false, misleading and unfortunate, capable of demoralizing troops and causing disaffection between the military and its host community. The public is requested to discountenance the comment, remain calm, law-abiding and continue to support troops with credible and actionable information on terrorists' activities. Troops in conjunction with other security agencies have adopted effective strategies to unravel and apprehend the perpetrators of the dastardly act. Troops will continue to deal decisively with criminals while maintaining peace in every part of Plateau State. Nigeria Presidency. In a statement signed and made available by Bayo Onanuga, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, on Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu has strongly condemned the barbaric and cowardly attacks by gunmen in Angwin-Rakuba District, Jos, Plateau State. He equally condemned the attacks in Kahia village in Kagako local government area of Kaduna State. Describing the attack on the community in Jos and the killing and abduction of wedding guests in Kaduna as an affront to all that Nigeria stands for, President Tinubu assured Nigerians that the barbaric acts will not go unpunished. Anyone who will sneak under the cover of the night and kill defenseless citizens as done in Jos and Kahia village, is a heartless coward. By attacking soft targets in Jos, their objective is not only to cause harm but also trigger a spiral of reprisal attacks and further bloodletting, he said. He has directed security agencies to intensify all efforts to pursue the perpetrators and those spreading misinformation that can inflame tensions and further endanger lives. He cautioned some sections of the media, insinuating the attacks were religiously motivated. President Tinubu reaffirmed that security agencies are actively addressing the situation and stressed that public cooperation is vital to maintaining peace and protecting lives and property. He stressed the need for communities to comply with evacuation, relocation, and related advice and processes. He hailed the safe return of 2 of the Kaduna victims. I urge our security agencies to be more proactive in preventing these attacks by acting on early warning intelligence. All the remaining abductees from Kahia village must be rescued immediately, the president said. I commend Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State for his efforts in containing the situation in Jos and Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State for supporting the rescue and containment efforts. I assure the people and government of the 2 states of my support. I commiserate with the families of those killed and pray for the quick recovery of the injured. Our government is currently acquiring more sophisticated equipment to enable our security agencies to track and smash criminals, in real time, wherever they are. Meanwhile, Vanguard newspaper reported on Tuesday that the United States Congressman, Riley Moore, warned yesterday that continued attacks on Christians in Nigeria could strain diplomatic relations with the U.S., following reports of a deadly Palm Sunday killings in Jos, Plateau State, and Kaduna State. Recall that no fewer than 40 persons were killed by gunmen suspected to be terrorists on Sunday night at Angwa-Rakuba community in Jos North local government area of Plateau State and Kahia village in Kagako local government area of Kaduna State. While 27 were killed at Rakuba community in Plateau, 13 wedding guests were mowed down by the attackers in Kaduna. The police in Plateau, however, said only 14 persons were killed in the attack that marred Palm Sunday in the community. Reacting to the killings in a post on X yesterday, Moore condemned the reported killing of Christians in Angwin-Rakuba, describing the incident as part of a troubling pattern of violence targeting worshippers during religious observances. The congressman, who was part of a United States fact-finding delegation on alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria, added that such attacks had become frequent during Christian holy days, urging Nigerian authorities to take decisive action to prevent further bloodshed. This Palm Sunday, reports from Nigeria indicate that at least 10 Christians were martyred in the city of Jos. Radical Islamic terrorists opened fire on the Christians before hacking them to pieces with machetes. This is sickening and unacceptable, but it's not surprising. This tragedy follows a pattern of radical Islamic terrorists massacring Christians on holy days. In fact, terrorists have attacked Christians in Nigeria on every single holy day in recent memory, except for last Christmas when President Trump sent 12 Tomahawk cruise missiles to stop them, he added. More called on the federal government, led by President Bola Tinubu, to urgently strengthen security measures ahead of upcoming religious events. Abuja knows this pattern and they must massively ramp up security for the Triduum and Easter. If they don't take this threat seriously and mobilize to defend our brothers and sisters in Christ, blood of these martyrs will be on their hands, and there will be significant consequences for Nigeria's relationship with the United States, he warned. Meanwhile, the attackers of the Plateau community, said to be in large numbers, stormed the densely populated community at about 7:30 p.m. on Palm Sunday and opened a sporadic fire on residents, throwing the area into panic. Punch newspaper also reported that at least 13 persons have been killed, and several others abducted after suspected bandits attacked a wedding ceremony in Kahir village, Kagako local government area of Kaduna State. The incident, which occurred late Sunday night at about 11:47 p.m., has triggered fresh fears over rising insecurity in rural communities across the state. Eyewitnesses said the gunmen, who arrived in large numbers and were armed with sophisticated weapons, stormed the wedding venue and opened fire indiscriminately on guests. A resident of the area, Shehu Bala, said the incident plunged the community into chaos, as guests scampered for safety. They came in large numbers and started shooting sporadically. People were running in different directions. Many were hit by bullets, Bala said. He added that several victims sustained gunshot injuries and were rushed to the General Hospital in Kagako, while those in critical condition were referred to facilities in Kaduna for advanced medical attention. Bala further noted that the exact number of abducted persons could not be immediately ascertained due to the confusion that trailed the attack. A community leader, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said the assailants operated for nearly 1 hour without any resistance from security forces. They attacked the wedding and later moved around the village, looting shops and carting away food items, provisions and even medical supplies, the source said. According to him, many residents fled into nearby bushes as the sound of gunshots echoed throughout the community. It was gathered that the victims have since been buried, while efforts to establish contact with the abductors have not yielded results. He gave the names of some of those killed as Boko Danjuma, Williams Luca, Peter Williams, Joseph Yakubu, Victor Peter, John Dan Asabe, Angulu Marcus, Maikano Arabi, Douglas John, Adu Yakubu, Zafania Al-Haji, Joseph Kada and Francis Unguadoya.
In Kabul, they just murdered over 10 people. Innocent Christians. On Palm Sunday. Tinubu, where are you? As your people are slaughtered in the night. As you sit in Aso Rock and you do absolutely nothing. You allow your people to be killed again and again and again and again. When will it stop? When will you hear the cries of Nigerians, of Christians? You can no longer deny genocide. They're being slaughtered. And you say there's no issue. You will regret what you are doing.
Yes, sir. I'm the youth leader of the Northern Plateau.
Yes, sir.
Under Plateau Youth Council. I coordinate the Northern Zone from Angorukuba direct. I was trained in Angorukuba, grew up in Angorukuba. Unfortunate incidents happened yesterday around 7:30. Gunmen just came, started shooting on people. Some are using machete. And the unfortunate aspect of it is that most of them are wearing half camo. That is the army clothes. And a veil, this Hausa veil on their neck. And they were speaking Hausa and this Fulani language. Going down, spraying bullets on people. And other people are using machete. When they are going down in less than 10 minutes, they will now see army car. Like 2 Hilux just came, 2 bikers, 3 in 1, and give them cover. I was there, I think one of the army nearly shot me on the leg. He missed and sprayed on the ground.
The army, Nigerian army.
The Nigerian army, and some of them.
Sorry, please, I will have to take you back a little.
Yes.
You said you witness that when they came down, some of them were shooting, some of them were using machete on people.
Yes.
Army came with their van and gave them cover. What do you mean by giving them cover?
Yes. Army, Hilux, 2 Hilux came.
Nigerian Army.
Nigerian Army. When youth came out en masse in order to follow the attackers, on realizing that they are attackers, because 2 weeks back, NDLA came in, started shooting and arrest some people because of drug issue. And then when this one started, the boys thought that it was the same operation. Unknowingly, when we came close, we now realized that the setting of these people, they are not NDLA. Then we now gather the youth, trying to go on, move, and follow these people. In less than 10 minutes, Army car, Hilux 2 came and blocked the youth and started spraying bullets off. I think we packed so many things. We have facts on ground.
My name is Tayo Johnson. I was coming from Kogi State, from Kaba. That is my residence place, family place. So I went and visited them. I do stay in Gombe. On my way coming, I bought a vehicle from Abuja to Bauchi. When we reach Bauchi Junction there, we continue just a kilometer, and just a meter some forward. Then some people came to attack us. That they said, where is the Christian inside vehicle? I said, those people were looking for back. So they look at me that I'm Christian. This man from glass, she took glass to leave, took a knife in hand. Then I now rushed. They now pulled me out vehicle. Because I sat there back for driver. They pulled me out. This thing, they are selling cutlass, the machetes, different things they have, about 10 or say, drag me, carry stone, big stone, hit me, carry on top, they release it. They hated me everywhere. They thought that I'm dead. They never left me. They left. Small time I was able to wake up, I see them, they are disappeared. I now started running. They see that I started running, they follow me again second times. They fought, they talked to me, and I died second time. They left. So I sleep there for more than 1 hour. Later on, I now rescue operation police, other police, they now came to rescue me where I slept.
If you can gather anything, I know if I say this now, they'll say I am encouraging violence. But to protect yourself, violence is the only way. I am telling you, if you can get knives, if you can get hunter's gun, if you can get anything to protect your land, protect your land. Don't listen to the government that they will come and help you. They will not. Anybody you see that is not from here, anybody that looks suspicious, before they get you down, get them down. Listen to me. If you keep quiet and wait for the government, just no be the first time it happen, no be the second time, no be the third time, no be the fourth time, no be the fifth, no be the sixth. We don't lose count. No be today start. It don't pass 15 years when they keep people for just. Even before I start to get sense, they don't keep people for just. The question we ask the government is, when does this stop?
If you have no right to breathe, what right do you have? No right. While people are fighting for elections and painting veins of Tinubu, and everybody's worrying about APC, PDP, DPD, you are being killed. At what point will the people care about life? Islam says that I should be arrested by DSS. They say, how can this person come here and speak? How can this person be allowed into Nigeria? Can I tell you, the only reason I'm here is because you guys are being killed. Yeah. And right now, the Nigerian Christians do not have a voice. You are being silenced, and you are expected to comply with injustice. But the Lord does not only reserve justice for heaven. Justice is not only reserved for when Jesus comes back. Yes. Justice has called Christians to establish justice on this earth. Justice here and now. Yes, now. Not in 5 years. No. Not in 20 years. Now. No. It's now. If you have no right to live, what right do you have? And how long will we tolerate this? My heart is with you, that's why I'm here. Yes. If there is no killing, if there is no injustice, I wouldn't be speaking now. It pains me and it's shameful that I even have to speak. And they want me to be silent. They want me to not talk about what is happening. I would rather die than be silent. Yes.
Out of the mortuary. Really great sound, Alex.
It's disgusting. And when I was there last night, there were roughly 11 or 12 bodies. And by the time we come here today, it's almost tripled. There's 30 people that were killed. And it's pure evil. And nobody's coming to defend them. Nobody's speaking out about how absolute evil was done by terrorists. They only care about if someone's speaking the truth, if someone's posting pictures, if someone's there. And it's just, I don't know how this can continue to be tolerated. It's evil. I can't even breathe in that room because of bodies, corpses that are just, oh gosh.
It's terrible. We just came from where these people were killed.
Yeah.
We literally had to walk on their blood. They're showing us the site.
Exactly.
And people were telling us what was happening there. You said something that was profound. The distance from the police station to the places people were killed. You would say something.
It's like 20 meters. I mean, from here to there. So how can the attack happen for an hour or 30 minutes, however long? They're killing, shooting, killing people, machete. But then the police are nowhere to be found.
And they're all there today now in their uniforms.
Yeah, they have their tank, they're all dressed, they're all equipped, they're ready to go after the killing happens.
I'm sending a message to Trump. Please, at least just give us fractional American army with their drones to come to Plateau State. If not, many of us will continue to be losing life. With Alex Barbary that is here, he saw everything that was happening. And the world will know.
Osazuwakan Nebel, bringing you the news in a more digital way. Osazuwakan Nebel, bringing you the news in a more digital way.